All right, it says we're live. Let me check over here, make sure we're where we need to be. All right. Yeah, it looks like we're late. Sorry we're late. Looks like a cat boy. Do I know you? Yeah, it's been one of them days, guys. Running later than normal. We'll kind of hang out of here and see which way the wind blows. Boy, it was a hot one today. I don't know how hot it got, but it felt like a million degrees. Hey, Lisa, how you doing tonight? Can y'all hear me okay? Yeah, I'm doing good, Lisa. Out working in the yard all day today, so I'm a little wore out. Chris, good to see you. Kent's in the house. We got us a show now. I'm going to put the... there's a link if anybody wants to jump up. Yeah, it was supposed to get up to like 97 today. I don't know if it really hit it. I was outside from... I went out with my coffee about 10:30. And got to puttering around all day. I didn't come in until almost 9. So excuse my voice. Been breathing hot air all day, so it's a little raspy. And don't adjust your set. I got a little sun today, so don't go recalibrating your white balance. It's me. I'm kind of red. So I hope you all had a good Saturday. This is the first Saturday we've had without rain, and oh gosh, since before the hurricane. That's what 3 weekends ago. So I finally got out, and you know the wind destroyed my cover over my deck, and I haven't been able to get out there and work on it because it's just been so muddy. Finally got it tore apart, disassembled. In fact, I had a metal frame, so I got it out at the curb. I'm sure it'll be gone by morning. Johnny Maggs, looky here. What you doing up so late? It's good to see you. No, I ordered one of these pre-built covers last week, so I'm going to try one of those out for a while. I'm going to have something custom built here before too long, but this is cheap enough. It'll give me a chance to test out the size, test out the gable roof on it, see how much wind and water it lets in. Hot and humid. I hear you, man. My goodness, it was hot today. So anyway, we're going to try it out. I got one of them killer deals I couldn't hardly pass up. So it's not 100% what I want, but it's going to give me some shade while I work on the other things. Alex is in the house. Good to see you, Alex. Kent, was you out cooking today? I can't remember if you said you had a competition this week or if you guys were going camping. Johnny, you've been putting on quite a few miles on that purple pit. Tell you what, that was a pretty cooker there. I was going to crank mine up today, but with all the other stuff going on, I didn't want to babysit it. Kent said yes. So was that yes competition? Yeah, sorry I'm late, guys. By the time I got in, cleaned up, got something to eat, man, I looked up there and it was like 10 till 11. I thought, oh my goodness. Big party next Saturday. Is it just like a birthday party? I can't remember what time when you picked that thing up. Kent's a man of few words. I haven't seen that to be true. Well, if Kent put in a day like today, I mean, I'm ready for a nap. So anyway, it's hard for me to fill in the dead air. Somebody needs to jump up here and help a brother out. But anyway, I had on my deck, I had oh gosh, it was one of these little, like a pop-up dealie that you'd have for like a tailgating party or something like that. And I bought this thing at Academy. I think it was a 10 by 10, I think. And one of the little spindly metal frame jobs. But I screwed it down on my deck, and that thing has been out there for, gosh, I think this is the 5th summer. And of course, that stuff rots out. Those covers rot out pretty much. So I stretched another tarp over the top of it, and that lasted a couple of years before it started leaking. So I put another heavier tarp on it. That was good for a little while. Then I put another heavier tarp. Before it was over with, I think I had like 4 tarps on that dude. So I don't know if the wind took it down or the weight of the tarps. Oh, we got company. There we go.
Hi.
There she is. Did you think I'd forgot?
No, I thought honestly that you probably fell asleep.
No, I wish. I wish.
But that's okay. That's okay. Better late than never, right?
Right.
And not even late, but on your time.
Well, I don't know if you heard me earlier. I went out and had my coffee about 10:30 this morning.
Yeah.
And I've been outside all day. I finally come in about 9 o'clock.
Ooh.
Breathing out hot air. My voice is not normal.
I hear that.
Just breathing all that hot air all day.
Yeah. Murphy, my son,
yeah,
went to band practice this morning. They had it from 9 to noon. And by the time it was noon, it was already a heat index of 106. He had a migraine and was sitting on the sidelines when we picked him up.
Well, generally when I was out working in the backyard all day, so I try not to run in and out of the house any more than I have to, because it makes it feel even hotter then.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's one of them deals that you work 10 minutes and take a 20-minute break.
Right. Good grief. What were you doing? Just picking up from the storm?
Yeah, I had the I showed you a picture of my cover got tore up.
Right.
Over my deck. And this is the first Saturday it hasn't rained since before the hurricane.
Yeah.
So, that's all metal and had tarps fastened to it. And I got all that stuff cut out, cut up all the metal framing.
Right.
Got it all cleared out.
Oh, good. Didn't you order another cover?
Yeah, I've got another cover coming in. It should be not next week. What is next weekend? Yeah, it should be in a week from Monday.
Good, good.
So I'm
I
going to try that for a while.
Yeah.
Because today was a bear, man. I could not find a shady spot to sit down to even cool off.
Yeah.
So I'm going to. My wife says I should video it, but I'm going to build this thing on the old deck, and then I'm going to build a new deck under it. so I'm gonna build a bigger deck.
Well,
So
that
I'll just build
sounds
around it and shift this thing over and replace where it's at. So
okay. That sounds like a lot of work.
it's always a lot of work. If it was easy, we'd all be doing it, right?
Well, that's true.
I don't do anything the normal way.
As my dad used to say, go around your elbow to get to your behind.
Yes, there you go.
That's not exactly what he used to say, but it's close enough.
No, Chris, I didn't get any free boats in the yard. I thought I was going to need a boat to get out of the subdivision. But no, we did pretty good. It could have been a lot worse. I only had the cover on my deck as a casualty. I lost one fish out of my pond, and we were without power for 5.5 days.
That's
But
about as good
there's a
as
house.
you can expect.
There's a house right behind me. Had a tree come right down in the middle of it.
That's the one that had just been closed on.
Yeah, they closed.
Yeah.
They closed on the 5th and got the keys, and then the hurricane knocked that tree in the middle of the house on the 7th.
Talk about awful luck.
They had their keys about a day and a half.
Jeez.
So it could have been worse for me.
Yeah.
I'm not really complaining.
That system that's coming up through Florida is probably going to be on top of my parents' home in about a day and a half.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're not too worried. I told Dad just keep his ears out for tornadoes.
Yeah. Well, you might get a little bit of that rain.
From your lips to God's ears, because God knows we need it. And I like for it to rain about twice a week, but I don't like them 4-day rains. I like to have some sunshine speckled in between them.
Right.
And of course, you can't order your weather, but in a perfect world, that would be mine.
I mean, the few days through the week that it hasn't rained, nothing's been able to dry out. So
Yeah.
I couldn't even come home after work and go out back because everything was just the ground was so soft
Right,
that it just couldn't suck in any more water.
right.
So we've had about 3-4 days now that gave it a chance to dry out a little bit.
Right.
But yeah, it was a hot one today. I got to tell you. That's right, Chris.
I'm glad I wasn't out in it. I just looked at Poppy working on his car from the window.
I wanted to throw in the towel about 12:30.
Didn't take long.
But well, ordering this other covers has
Motivated you.
put a prod on my ass because it's coming whether I get much stuff done and ready
Right.
or not.
Right.
So
Grumpus, give me a minute. I got to make some tea because I'm parched and I was in a hurry and forgot to get some. So
knock
if you'll
yourself
give
out.
me just a minute, I'd appreciate
Alrighty.
it.
So Johnny, 75 people. That's going to be a surprise, isn't it? Miss Mary. That's what you named your pit, right? Miss Mary. And Kent, did you place in your competition? Did you get the call? Oh, that's pretty cool, Johnny. That's pretty cool. So how is it holding up? Is the paint is the paint holding up nice? And you've had that, what, about a year and a half, 2 years now? I know I've got to get out on mine, and I've got some. Well, it's my fault, but I've got some blisters on my paint. I need to skin it down and sand a little bit and touch it up. It's all surface rust, but I have built some way hotter fires in that firebox than I should, just trying out different things. Hey, Quint, how you doing tonight? Glad to see you here. But yeah, I need to. It's hard to believe, but I've had that pit now. This is 5 years, and it's been sitting out in the weather, not covered. I fire it up about every, weather permitting, I fire it up 2 to 3 times a month. So that's pretty much every weekend. So yeah, we're getting a little bit of blistered paint on the firebox. Probably need to sand that down, touch it up a little bit. Now the main body of the pit's holding up really nice. It's, I got no qualms with that at all. And the firebox blistering, that's my fault. When you're trying to get 350, 400 degrees down on the far end so you can make cornbread, that's probably a little hotter than that box needs to be. I don't think it was cut out to be screaming that hot.
Right. My son is going to roast or smoke some more pork roast tomorrow. The pork tenderloins.
You got him a pork butt or a tenderloin?
Just a tenderloin. It's a double pack,
Yeah.
And he's got big plans. Yeah, he's going to get up at 7 in the morning. Yeah, right. He's going to get up at 7, get the fire going. He said, Mom, I got to make sure that I don't put it on too soon.
That's right.
I said, that's exactly right. You get your fire under control, know exactly what the temperature is before you put your meat on. So that's what he's going to work. Does he want
to have this for lunch? Because it ain't going to take very long to cook.
Well, that's why we decided to work on pork roast, or pork tenderloin first. That's our, because I told him, I said, if you can master that, we'll move on to something bigger.
It's for you, Chris.
Hi, Quentin. I got, didn't you say you got a lot of your shirts at Marshall's?
No. Well, I used to get them at Kohl's.
Yeah.
I'd wait until, fall. Oh, maybe September or so, when they start throwing that stuff on sale, getting ready for the winter stuff.
Right.
So I would go hit a good sale, and I would buy. I mean, I'm not a clothes horse. I never buy clothes hardly.
Right.
But when I do, I would hit one of those sales. I'd just buy one of everything they had in my size.
Mm-hmm.
And then I may not buy any more for a year and a half, 2 years.
Right. Well, we went school clothes shopping for my son while we were in Florida.
Yeah.
And we ended up at a Marshall's, which is kind of the same thing,
Okay.
And I bet you I bought him 15 shirts. Now, mind you, they're not like yours. They're just kid, T-shirts and funny stuff for boys.
Yeah. Mine's nothing fancy.
Yeah, but it's got a collar on it, Grumpus.
Oh, okay. All right, I got you.
He's 15. He don't care nothing about a collar. And but anyhow, I don't think I paid more than $7 or $8 for every one of those shirts. And I was tickled to death because I also have $120 pair of tennis shoes to buy. And I've never seen you look frumpy on the YouTube streets.
This is just stuff I wear every day.
Yeah.
No, it drives Vicky nuts because like I said, I'll go to Kohl's after not buying any clothes for 2 years, and I'll come home with maybe 18 shirts. Charlotte, and then I've got just a handful that I wear to work every day, and I just kind of rotate them. And she said, "Why don't you get out some of them new shirts?" I said, "Well, I'm saving
Don't
them."
mess them up.
I swear, Charlotte, I've probably got 20, 25 shirts with the tag still on them that I bought before me and Peggy got married 16 years ago.
What are you saving those for, Grumpus?
I don't know. They're at the other end, and I want to dig for them.
I got one for you. One word. Hoarder.
Well, that's about it. So I'll never forget the first time she went with me and I bought socks and underwear. I'll buy, Walmart or someplace like that, got the 10-pack of socks.
Oh, yeah. You'll buy 3 or 4 of them?
I'll buy 3 of them.
Yeah.
All the same color, all the same brand. I'll come home and all the socks in my drawer, I'll throw them away.
Okay.
And just put all the new ones in. So everything wears the same color.
Yes.
They fade evenly. I don't have to mix anything up.
You don't have to play match the socks. You just throw them in there and grab socks.
You could just buy 6. I said, I don't want it to match them up. So I'll buy socks about every 4 years.
I ought to try that with Poppy.
You take them right out of the dryer, dump them right in the drawer. They're all faded the same.
But he goes through some socks, man. Well, I'm sure I can't do it every 4 years for him. He won't have any thread on the toes if I do that. But I can do it every year.
You buy 30 or 40 pairs. They don't get worn that much.
Good point too. I'm going to do that. In his drawers too.
Yep.
Huh.
I do it with underwear and I do it with socks.
That's a really good idea. And you
Well,
buy
I'm
3
lazy.
packs of drawers, or how many?
Well, it depends on how many's in the pack. I buy whatever's cheap.
So about 30 pairs at a time.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean,
Okay.
I'll go in and drop, 3, 4 bills sometimes.
Right.
But that's no more than anybody else if I only do it.
If you only do it every 3 or
few
4
years.
years. Yeah. Shoot,
And I do that with jeans. I'll find a sale on jeans and I'll just buy up, half a dozen pairs, 8 pairs,
Right.
and stick
That's
them
how
in
I
the
do it for
rotation.
Murphy. Well, okay.
Like I said, I'm not a clothes horse. I don't agonize in the mornings on what I'm going to wear. It's whatever my hand hits, that's what goes on.
Well, my son wears the same thing every day. He wears jeans or sweatpants. He wears a t-shirt and a hoodie. It don't matter if it's 16,000 degrees outside. He's going to have a hoodie on. And I get why, excuse me, he takes a pair of shorts with him for band, after school. But inside the school building, they keep it on meat locker. And he's a really skinny kid.
Yeah.
And he has no meat on his bones to keep him warm, and he's always freezing. So I get why he wears the sweatpants and the hoodies, because I would probably do the same thing.
Well, I wear jeans and one of these shirts. That's my uniform.
Yeah.
I got out of corporate. I don't have to wear a jacket. I don't have to wear a tie. I could get away without a tie most of the time in the job I had, but they kind of like you to have a coat.
Like you to dress up. Oh my goodness.
Don Carter do you know him?
No.
I have not. That's a new one for me.
No.
Well, Don, you probably got notified because YouTube thought that was the best thing for you to be doing tonight.
It probably was. Stick around for a little bit.
It
Subscribe.
must be slim pickings on their recommendations. That's right. That's right.
We're the cool kids.
Well, Quint, I was trying to steer away from that with Chris in here.
Oh, Chris will get offended.
Talking about drawers.
Oh, okay.
That is correct, Don. Except on these lives, we hardly ever get to barbecue.
Right.
Our intentions are good, but
Oh, I already have an Academy envelope in my binder. So I've got $25 in the smoker fund now.
oh,
I'm gonna
okay.
buy that one that you told me about last weekend
Well,
because
keep an eye on it.
I'm gonna get the bigger one too.
I think that's smart.
Yeah. Well, I want to be able to close the lid. You said.
Well, if you keep an eye on it, that they may mark that down
In
in the
about what, September?
next couple of months.
Yeah. I'm going to keep my eye on it. And if not, I'll just go ahead and buy it anyway because,
Yeah, Academy doesn't always have as good a sales as Home Depot or Lowe's because
well, they don't have to.
Academy's not trying to make room for Christmas trees.
That's right. That's right. However, I think it'll be a great purchase. I really do.
Yeah, I think it. Hey, if it gets him off the video games and piques his interest, who knows where to go?
I know.
He may decide he wants to go to cooking school or something. You never know.
I hope not.
Well,
The hours suck and the benefits are terrible, you know?
oh, that's true. I agree.
I'd rather he maybe do barbecue competitions as a hobby or something
Yeah.
if he wanted to do something like that. But to make it a career, yikes. I don't know.
Well, that's one of them jobs you just have to love the job because you're pretty
Yep.
much married to it.
That's right. That's right. And but anyhow, yeah, I got the envelope. I'm saving monies. It's going to be great. I invested in my channel a little bit
Yeah.
and got some new lighting. It's not
Okay.
here yet, but I got some lighting. I got a small foldable table. I'm going to need that for the new portion of my skill set. And
Okay.
then I also got some shelving and what else did I get? I forget now. Oh, a wireless microphone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I didn't get a Rode, but the one I got wasn't super cheap either. So it was kind of middle of the road.
Yeah.
Middle of the road. So I'm hoping that it works well. If not, it'll go back, you know.
I mean, Rode makes good stuff, but they're like everybody else. You get caught up in the ecosystem,
Yes. And I don't want to do that.
and same thing with Elgato stuff. Elgato has a lot of nice stuff out,
Hmm.
but it seems like once you get one piece, then you start adding to it, and everything talks to each other real good. So,
Yeah.
but
Well, and with this Chromebook that I use and that cell phone, considering I don't have a real camera or a real computer in the big girl world, I have to have something that's going to adapt to what I have on hand.
well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with what I'm seeing right now.
Well, thank you, thank you. This is my stinking Chromebook camera,
Oh, really?
believe it or not. I'm very surprised that it's
You got some good bandwidth tonight.
probably.
He must not be on his game tonight.
He's actually sleeping.
There you go.
That had a lot to do with it. Well, we have fiber, though. We're supposed to be able to do everything.
Well, you can do everything, but it depends on how much stuff you got hanging on it.
That's true. One
You
of
know,
these days, I hope to get as nice and crisp a picture as you've got.
speed and bandwidth is two different things.
True, true.
Well, I mean, I've invested in my channel too. Now, I don't. Now, I love this new camera, but there was nothing wrong with the ones that I had. You know?
I get it. Yeah. And I got a dress form.
A what?
A dress form,
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, I think my
like
sister's
a
got one of
fake
those.
body that you, like a
Yeah,
mannequin
yeah.
almost. It's up, but it's only half from the waist up. And you can stick pins in it and stuff like that. I got that to display finished projects.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So are you going to use that so you can take pictures and put them online, or is
That
that the
too.
end goal?
End goal. Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do with, let's say, if I make something that's a household item, like a blanket or a baby blanket or something. I'm not quite sure yet how I'm going to display that or take pictures of that. But I'll get around to it. I'll figure it out. I want it to be pretty though. Is that your microphone up there?
Well, I'm trying to get this camera is in the shot. I'm trying to get it up here out of the way.
Oh, I see.
There we go.
It's out. It's out.
You
So
know, third
yeah,
world problems, right?
right. I'm just trying to get ready because once I start, I want to go in with a bang and have everything I need and not be stressed out over nothing.
So have you done anything in the yard,
In the yard,
in your garden?
I de-weeded a bed.
Well, that's something.
Just one.
I
I'm
spent
actually going out there in the morning and I'm going to de-weed number 2. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to plant yet, but I know I'm planting mustard greens and bunching onions, like little green onions. And I haven't decided anything beyond that, really. Wesley likes radishes. I don't, but I always grow some for him. If I could ever get my soil right, I'd grow some beets. I've been trying to grow beets now for about 10 years.
yeah. What do you
And
think it is?
I get the prettiest leaves you ever wanted to see, but I can't get them to root. I mean, grow roots. They're
So
little stringies.
you think it's the soil or let me rephrase that. Is it the nutrients
Yes.
or just the texture of the soil?
No, I think it's. Well, now that you threw that in there, I don't know. I wonder if I should maybe throw some bark in there.
You know, all I put in my beds is, well, when I first make it, I'll fluff up the dirt that's there
Yeah.
and maybe put a couple of bags of, the bigger bags of a better soil, something like a Miracle Grow or something like that.
Sure.
And from that point on, only thing I put in them every year is I get the screened mulch, the real fine mulch.
Okay.
And I'll turn my beds over and turn over a bag of that into it.
That's
And
a good idea.
For me, that's enough organics to take care of it for the whole season.
Right.
And it helps hold moisture down. It's so hot down here.
Yeah.
That surface will dry out in a hurry.
Indeed.
But that's the only thing I put in. That's the only soil amendment I put in mine.
And where do you get your screened mulch? Do you have to?
Home Depot, Lowe's,
Okay.
something like that. I mean, you can get it bulk. I used to get it when I had a pickup. I'd get a pickup bed and just do all the beds around the whole house.
Yeah. Screened.
But I'm not a fan of the bark because it washes away too easy. It doesn't really break down.
Well,
I want something that'll break down and rot.
mean mulch bark. I was talking about the bark that I put in my philodendrons. It's a different.
Yeah.
It's a
Okay.
different bark. I'm not sure how it's different, but it feels different. It looks different, etc.
The
But
stuff I
screen
get looks like
probably,
sawdust almost.
yeah, yeah. That would probably work really well. But I believe phosphorus is my problem.
Okay.
That's what I believe.
A lack
Uh,
of it.
so I'm going to go get me a bag of bone meal tomorrow and throw
Okay.
that out there. I've got 10-10-10 fertilizer. It should work.
That's all I buy is even numbers.
Right. Uh, so I don't know why I can't grow them. Maybe I'm growing them at the wrong time of year, but everybody else I know around here grows beets in the fall. So doesn't make sense. But I just have never been successful with beets. And by goodness, I'm getting a beet one day. I don't care if it's just one. I'm going to say I grew me a beet. Look at this thing. So, now I did grow rutabagas. They didn't get huge, but they
Yeah.
got enough size on them that you could eat them.
Well, I wonder why the beets won't grow then.
No idea. No.
Because
No.
you've done carrots and that kind of stuff, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Well, it seems to me like if all that stuff would grow, then your
And I've
beets
done
should grow.
radishes. Now, the first couple of years I did radishes, I had a really hard time. All I got was greens. But then they just started doing their thing. And I can grow them great now. I don't know what it is about the beets. They're temperamental. I read one time that there was a micronutrient, boron, that beets needed. And I went and bought a whole mess of it and poured it in them beds just like it said on the directions and everything. No beets.
Might be cheaper just to buy some beets.
Yeah, but now it has become a power struggle. Are you getting an
Did you
echo?
hear that? That's
What was
thunder.
It was a what?
Thunder.
Oh my.
Can you hear it? If it hits again, I'm going to blast this thing up.
Okay.
Am I
No,
loud enough tonight? Because my voice sounds like it's awful quiet. Am I good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good. Dwight from The Office, love beats. No, I honestly though, I didn't hear the thunder.
Okay.
You might be about to get some good rain.
Well, it wasn't supposed to rain today and tomorrow. And then I heard midday today that the thunderstorm might blow in this evening.
Oh.
So that may ruin my plans for tomorrow.
Oh no.
Because I had some other stuff I need to take care of outside. And to be honest with you, I probably won't cry about it if I can't. Because I really got gassed today.
Yeah. You probably ought to rest.
I may have overdone it just a little bit.
I called my dad tonight. Just to say hey and check up on him.
Yeah.
He went to just a little town outside of Jacksonville to go to a friend of his birthday party. Now, this is an old work buddy that he's known for decades. As long as I can remember, I've heard him talk about this gentleman. This gentleman turned 90.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. But he was telling me, he said, 25, 35 years ago, we'd have never, if there would have been a pool of who's going to live to be 90, his name never would have showed up, He said, and he insists on being an atheist. I said, well, Dad, I said, you can't never control what goes on between somebody's ears.
Can you hear
I
that?
did hear it, yeah.
Huh.
Sounds like you guys have pretty violent thunder like we do.
I hope everything's fastened down as good as I think it is.
Did you get everything out by the road, all the debris?
Yeah, we was able to get some of that out. It's been, I mean, the county hasn't come along and picked it up yet. But I mean, up and down my street, there's branches,
Piles and piles.
piles of branches as big as a car. There's
Yeah.
fencing all tore up, sitting out at the curbs. But
I
yeah,
remember those days, and I'm sure I'll experience them again.
so hopefully they'll pick it up soon. I'd hate to have to throw my Christmas tree on top of it.
Oof. Oof. I don't know how it is over there where you are, but when we have a hurricane here, it doesn't take more than about 3 to 4 days for them to start cleaning the streets up. I mean, it's quick.
Yeah.
Now, as far as fixing damage and moving boats off the highway, they don't care about that. In fact, there was a boat, 3 chili. Did you have chili dogs?
No.
Oh, okay. But the last hurricane we had, there was a boat in the Mexican restaurant's parking lot for months afterwards.
Wow.
Months. And finally, I guess somebody salvaged it or something. I don't know. But boy, I tell you what, that's a heartbreaking sight to start driving around after a hurricane.
Especially if it's your boat.
Well, yeah, but even when it's not, you see these really nice cabin cruisers and stuff just sitting up on the highway with a piece of dock attached to them. It's a little freaky.
Yeah. Well, there was quite a few trees down all over Houston this time. I mean, we always lose some trees.
Sure.
But I think they got a little overwhelmed this time.
Well, yeah. Well, and not only that, hasn't it been really wet there?
Yeah, 'cause it won't stop raining.
All spring and summer?
Yeah, we've had a July especially. I mean, that was
When the
I
ground
can't remember a
like
July that wet.
I don't think it takes as much oomph to push them over either. The ground is wet. They don't have a lot to hold on to.
Right. Roots are shallow.
Right.
We've got a pretty high water table around here, so it don't take much for the ground to be saturated.
Right. I know when I lived in Virginia, a hurricane came through there, and I am not kidding you, seemed like every other tree in the county fell over. It was crazy. In fact, Poppy and a bunch of the neighborhood guys all got their chainsaws together. There were trees like this across the street that led to the high school.
Yeah, we had quite a few roads blocked off into subdivision where trees had fallen across.
Well, the chainsaw brigade got to work real quick, and they had it pretty cleared by the end of the day. So what you got planned for the upcoming week? Anything?
No, not really. I mean, we're pretty busy at work because, I mean, like I told you before, we were without power at work for a week and a half.
So you're playing catch up.
And a lot of my customers were without power for a week and a half, 2 weeks. So everybody is behind.
Yeah.
And especially when you're shipping stuff all over the United States. I mean, you can tell people you had a hurricane, but it don't really register. They just, sorry to hear that, but when
Sorry
do I
about
get my
the
stuff?
storm.
Yeah.
Darn shame. There's not much going on here either. It's
90th
just
and
hot.
New
And
Hampshire. So no, I mean, I don't, like I said, I'm going to putter around in the back and get ready for this package to show up. From what I understand, it's 2 boxes and each one of them is about 300 pounds. So I'll probably grab a couple mussels from my shop. We'll run over there, and all I gotta do is just get it inside my gate, because from that point on, I can open the boxes and then
sure, yeah,
unload a piece at a time.
Yeah. New Hampshire. I didn't know y'all got that quite that hot. I guess Surprise, surprise to me. I mean, I guess it's summertime. It's supposed
Yep.
to be hot everywhere, right?
Chris, are you still there on the farm? I think I think he had some acreage.
Oh, okay. Humid. I wonder what's humid. What percent would you consider humid in New Hampshire?
Yeah, but not 50%. It ain't even worth mentioning.
I know, right? I
We,
feel good when it's 75% out.
yeah, I appreciate the relief when it hits 75.
Right? Let's see, what's our humidity right now?
No, it gets up at hundreds there.
No kidding. Huh. Well, I know where not to go.
Well, I think his summer's probably a month.
Oh, well, that's a good point because by September they'll be wearing sweaters.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. 94% humidity tomorrow. Oh, wow, pit life. I don't know everybody's first names.
Pit Life. That's Johnny Maggs.
Oh, okay.
He's got a Pit Life Barbecue podcast. He's got a good podcast.
93% in New Hampshire. That's pretty high. I will not call anybody a baby at 93% because that is hot and muggy and miserable. Uh-oh, what happened, Grumpus? Can you hear me? Uh-oh, y'all, I think we might have lost him. Oh, that's not going to be good. June through August are hot there. I know one time, I'm from the South, obviously. I was raised in Florida, and now I live in South Mississippi. I can hear a little bit of whining too, can't you? I wonder if he can see his screen. Hang on just a second. I'm going to look up. He'll probably message me on Instagram and say, hey, what's going on? Grumpus, can you see your screen at all? Anyhow, my point was, I went to Indiana one year for summer to visit my grandmother's house there. And I think that's the hottest I've ever been, was in Indiana up until that point. Now, since then, I've been hotter. But I was a teenager, and I remember it being so hot, I couldn't even think. I could not even think straight. And there was no way to cool off either. I mean, here where I live, I can walk 10 minutes to the beach and get in the water if I want to. In Indiana, there was corn, you know, so you just couldn't cool off. Yeah, he's struggling over there. Darn it. I wonder if the lightning got him or if he maybe kicked a cord or something. He said he'll be back in a bit. Was it? Oh, I guess I'll ask him later. Okay. Oh, there's some picture. I know that's aggravating for him. Gosh, I hate that. See, and he's got such a big setup that if that was me, I would not even remember where all the cords were, you know, and what went to everything. That would make me insane to have to chase that all down and troubleshoot that. Come on, guys. Did y'all leave? Okay. Let me look over here. YouTube. And there we go. So there's 9 folks on here. Somebody do some commenting so I can keep this thing going for Grumpus. I'm going to say one word. Y'all say the next thing that comes to mind. Brisket. Come on. I know you know something. Wow. Okay. Well, this is a barbecue channel. So let me tell you how I learned how to smoke on my grill. Grumpus taught me. Thank you, Quint. Thank you so much. You saved the day. Anyhow, I don't have a smoker. And a couple of years ago, I was telling Grumpus that I'd really like to smoke something. So he taught me to kind of put my charcoals in a line all the way around the outside perimeter of my, it's kind of like a barrel grill, but it's not a smoker. There's no offset. There's no box of any sort for the fire. So he said, put it in the bottom of my grill in a circle all the way around. Put me a few bricks of some kind of wood, whatever I had. And then to light it, get my fire under control, told me what temperature, and to cook whatever I wanted to cook on it. And he told me a little bit about temperatures, when to pull it off, and, what to put on it. Of course, I cook pretty good, so I could season it real good, but he was telling me all about it. So anyhow, that following weekend, I had a tri-tip. I had gotten it on a great sale at the Winn-Dixie, and I cooked that tri-tip on that smoker, homemade smoker. And let me tell you what, I was hooked. I was absolutely hooked. Now, I don't get to do it very often because my grill is kind of seen its last days. It's got holes here, and, when you close the lid, the smoke goes out the sides. And so it's wonky still, just from age and weather and all of that. So, last weekend, I was telling him about it, that I wanted to buy an actual smoker for my husband and my son, because my son is really getting into smoking food and cooking on the grill and that kind of stuff. And he's only 15, so I figured I could just encourage him to, as Grumpus said earlier, get off that game and get outside. So that's what I'm going to do. That's why I told him I had an envelope in my binder, because that's how I save money. I put it in envelopes. Let's see. Here's one of my binders. And what I do is they're clear envelopes like this. See, there's a little bit of money there for my pantry. It's $20. But I use these little envelopes and I label what it is. That one's for band fees. I just paid those, so that envelope's empty. But that's what I do to save money. Just go the easy way out. Get an LSG pellet cooker. So those are electric, right? And it feeds the pellets in. My son was talking about something like that earlier today when we were talking about smokers and stuff. And he said that he would like to get one. And then my other son popped up and said he had one. We were on the phone with him. And he said that he had a pellet smoker and he really, really liked it. So, and he said on his pellet smoker, he can even, there's an app on his phone, and it'll tell him what the temperature is. It'll tell him everything he needs to know about what's going on. So if he needs to run down to the Walmart real quick and grab ketchup or whatever, then he can still keep an eye on his fire pretty much. So that's a cool concept. I really like that. But I also, at this point, I think my son, whoa, are you back?
I am back.
Well,
I'm back till the next lightning strike.
that's what I thought. I was afraid lightning got you.
Go ahead and finish your cooker story.
Oh, it's okay. It was almost finished anyway, Grumpus. I was giving you all of the credit for teaching me how to smoke on the grill. Smoke.
Granny be smoking.
Turn the grill into a smoker. LSG is expensive, but USA made. Oh, well, that's a bonus.
You were on their site last week.
Is that where I was?
Lone Star Grills.
Star. Okay. I'm sorry. Look, I'm still getting with the lingo, okay? Well, I tried to play a game with him and ask him, I'm going to say one word. Tell me the first thing you think of. And I said brisket. Nobody said anything except Quentin. And I'm kind of disappointed. I was trying so hard. And it's built in Texas, and that is important. Let me go back over there.
Yeah, they build those. They're only about 20 miles from me.
No kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, they used to be a little far. They were up by Willis. They're in Conroe now.
Huh.
He's got from what I understand, what he has now is about 3 times the size, maybe 4 times the size of what he had.
Oh, wow.
He was busting at the seams at the old place.
Yeah. So, excuse me. Are these Lone Star grills, are they, do they get bought a lot by people?
Oh, yeah.
Grilling into, I was wondering how popular they were and
Well, when I got mine, I waited 12 weeks.
Oh, geez. So do they custom make them?
Everything's made to order. He's got standard configurations that you can just say, okay, I want that one, and that's how much it is. Mm-hmm. But you can also customize them.
That's right, because you told me you got extra temperature.
You can put extra gauges in it. You can put different table fronts on them. The one I got did not come with the vertical smoker on the end. Right. I added that.
Right. And what about the rotisserie that you have? Did that come?
No, that's some Frankenstein thing I come up with.
Okay. I'm looking at them right now, Quentin. It's pretty.
I mean, ain't nobody got fired for buying a Lone Star grill.
Right.
There might have been a divorce or two in there, but nobody got fired.
Yeah, those ain't cheap. Ouch.
No.
Ouch.
I'd like to have one, but not at that price.
I don't know if I can invest that much right away. The one that me and Grumpus were talking about is $600-ish. And I thought that was reasonable enough. It would last long enough and that,
Well, I mean, the thing is, if he's wanting to learn, then learn on an offset. If he just wants to cook, then a pellet grill's the way to go. It's like your oven at home. You just dial in your temperature and walk away and leave it.
Time it, yeah. Mine had some custom built features, but ouch, yikes.
I hear you, Quentin.
Ouch. Well, that's a heck of a throat punch.
Let's see here, mine. I don't even remember what I gave.
I'm going to say close to about 45 to 65. Because I don't know all the bells and whistles you put on it. But based on what I saw last weekend. Oh, don't tell me it was 8 or 10.
No, 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 no. It wasn't. Well, I don't even know where I'd find that file.
Well,
Let's
it's
see
not
here.
important.
Maybe. Just don't have no prices on it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say it was just under 4, if I remember right.
Well,
But that was 5 years ago,
I was going to say, with the
almost
price
6 years ago.
increase, you got a good deal because I was calculating last weekend close to 6.
Well, that was a ridiculous price when I bought it.
Well,
I
right,
thought.
right. Shoot, you could probably sell it for the same thing you bought it for now. Sand it down, paint
That
on
ain't
the
going to
bubbles.
happen.
Ain't gonna happen.
That ain't going to happen.
I would like to know if smokers are like stoves for women. Well, cooks for cooks. I say women because in my house I'm the cook. But when you get a new stove, you have to learn that stove, and you get used to the little things that it does and how it cooks.
Yeah,
Is
the hot spots.
Yeah, is every smoker pretty much the same way too, where you
Yeah,
have to learn that
they're
smoker?
all got their own little personalities.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
That
mean,
makes
we could
sense.
buy. I would venture a guess you could probably buy 2 identical pits, and
Mm-hmm.
they would probably cook differently by just a little bit.
Okay.
Because it
Okay.
depends on the airflow and stuff like that.
Sure.
Gosh,
Well,
Quint,
Quentin, thank you so much.
thanks a lot. I appreciate that.
Thanks. I'm sure you do appreciate that kind of support for your channel. Wow.
Uh, but yeah, learning the airflow and the building your fires and managing all that, managing the heat, managing the smoke, and stuff like that. That's why I'm saying if that's what your son's wanting to learn,
I think it is.
he's probably not. I mean, yes, you have to learn. You have to learn a pellet cooker,
Mm-hmm.
just like you'd have to learn a gas grill.
Right. Right.
I mean, you got to learn to know your equipment.
Right.
But to me, the process is the fun part.
Well, and I think at this point, that's what's fun for him too, is the process. Um, and I think he needs to learn what he's doing before he takes the easy way.
Yeah.
And I agree with you on that. Yeah.
I mean, anytime I can pick a Saturday
Mm-hmm.
and just sit on my ass for 15, 16 hours, I'm all in.
With a beer and a fan, and
I, I am not going to mow and cook on the same day.
there you go. There you go. Well,
I'd like to help you, honey, but I got to watch the fire.
look,
But to me, it's kind of it's almost like a romance.
mm-hmm.
Not a romance, but like appreciating art
Yeah,
and
just
stuff
like
like
my
that.
crocheting. I feel the same way about my crocheting to some degree.
Sitting back with my feet propped up, fan running, a little music playing, some beer. It's on its way, Quint.
Quint, you're gonna love it. Is it the same ones?
Yes,
See?
the three ring, yeah.
Yeah. My Grumpus on fire pin.
Them things last forever.
I love this thing. Look, I got another one too. Hang on. I still have 2 left. And they stay right here. Well, one of them the children absconded with. I know that for a fact.
Last, I've bought several orders of those pins. So that the last time I ordered some, guy called me back. He said, "Man, we got a special on. if you order this many, it's this much off. And I mean, they kept lowering the price. Kept bumping it up and lowering the price. And I thought, well, that don't sound too bad. And I started figuring up how many orders I'd placed in the past. So, eventually this made... I ended up buying 1,000 pens.
Oh, for the love of Pete!
That bill come in. It was well over 4 figures.
Oh my God!
So I just kind of snuck those in the house.
I would have too. Well, but then again, I mean,
Well, I don't have to buy any more for 2 or 3 years now.
what'd you pay? Like $1.50 a pen?
Depends on how many I buy. They usually end up being about, if I can get them around $1.25, that's good.
Yeah, it is.
But they generally start out around $1.89, something like that.
They're worth more than that.
Oh yeah.
I'd pay $10 for a pen like that.
And it's just my thing, I get stuff and give it away.
Yeah. But well, you better start cooking so you make it worth your while.
I need to start editing.
Well, that too, yeah.
My last video I shot was Father's Day.
You only shot it though.
Yeah, I know. I haven't edited it and posted it. and I was all hot and trot. Go out there. I said, I got to make a video. Got to get a video. I haven't had a video out in a while, and now it's in the can, and I still don't have anything edited.
You know what? Maybe just.
But the hurricane did knock me back just a little bit.
Well, yes, it did. It did.
Kind of stole my focus.
Right, and probably took a little bit of the joy out.
So.
He is a legend. These pens are legendary. That's for sure.
Legend in my own mind.
So Grumpus, when the very last one takes a dump.
Hey, I know a guy.
Do you know a guy? Because I need a guy to replace. I think I might be coming down with something. I've been doing this little dry cough all day long.
Yeah.
And it's annoying me to death. But I took some Zicam, that stuff you stick up your nose.
I don't know anything about that.
It's supposed to be a cold preventative, like when you go on an airplane and it protects your mucous membranes from germs, etc.
Yeah, I don't know if I can stick any up my nose.
I hate them.
Maybe my finger, but that'd be it.
But Wesley has a whole pile of them because he uses them all the time. Every time he thinks he's coming down with a cold, he'll get them things out and start stirring them around in his nostrils. And they're so gross. Oh God, Grumpus, they're disgusting because they have this solution on the end of it, which of course holds whatever magic that keeps you from getting sick, right?
Okay.
But it's a solution that feels kind of like aloe vera gel. And it's nasty. But Wesley, oh, no, Granny's no legend. Quentin, I'm no legend. I can't take that kind of credit. Maybe for legendary long live streams.
Yeah, I may have to keep. We may have to keep down around 3 hours tonight.
I think you're right, and I need your help in pointing me in that direction.
I don't think my voice is going to hold up much longer than that. But I think you got the record last week.
Well, we got into talking about and it was so fascinating, and we were shopping. Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Quentin. That's very kind, and I'm glad that you enjoy our
nonsense.
Yeah. Thanks. I didn't know what to call it. But so what'd you have for dinner tonight? You didn't tell us.
I was running so late. I had some ribs that I'd cooked, I don't know, 3-4 months ago. Mm-hmm. And I'd froze like half a rack already cooked. Oh, wow. So all I did was put them in a sink with some hot water and change the water out 2 or 3 times, and then threw them in the microwave in the bag for a couple of minutes, and it was just like the day I pulled them off the pit.
Oh, it sounds amazing.
But if you leave them in the bag, they don't dry out that way. So you just cut it open and dump it on the plate.
And you said, I got to write this down. You said that this pork should be at 135
The pork,
when
depends
we
on how
pull
you
it
like
off?
your pork.
Well, I don't want it pink, but I don't want it overdone either.
I think USDA says 145
Okay.
for pork.
But then that means I should pull it off at 135 and wrap it and let it increase in heat.
Yeah,
on
just
the
loosely cover it in foil on a plate
Okay.
and let it rest, 15 minutes or so.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it might raise 5. That's a small piece of meat. It may
Oh, okay. So
maybe
I'll
pull
pull
it
it
at
off at
140.
140. Okay. Okay.
So on mine,
just
I
need-
usually pull it. I like mine to finish out. I don't mind just a touch of pink. So I'm usually at around 130, 135.
Okay.
So I may pull it at 125.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
I tried my best to get my wife to go get something to eat tonight, but I couldn't get her out of the house because I did not want to cook. I was pooped. I didn't want to.
Dinner out.
Huh?
Not even for being bribed with dinner out.
I just want to go pick something up and bring it home. Or I said, go get some fajitas, go get something like that. I don't want to
Yeah.
cook. I don't want to clean up.
Yeah.
I was exhausted. I really probably should have not pushed myself that hard today.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't have, Grumpus. That's dangerous too, with that heat the way it is, and
Well, I used to do that all the time.
well, I get that, but used to ain't no more.
Eustace catching up with me.
That's right.
I'm trying to keep up with myself.
That's what I told my daughter when she fell out of the back of her truck last week, and I said, "Oh, you discovered you're not 25 anymore."
That's it.
Here she is pushing 40 and jumping out of the back of trucks trying to chase a tire.
Like I said, I work 10 minutes and take a 20 to 30 minute break. I was out there all day, probably didn't get 2 hours.
Here's the
Stuff
thing.
done.
That's why this grilling is right up your alley. You can just sit for a while,
Yeah.
get up, have
Well,
a
I mean, only in Texas do we go out in 100-degree weather and build a fire. and sit
build a
next to it
fire.
all day.
Well, we're about to do it in Mississippi tomorrow. So. But he's very, very excited, and I'm not going to rain on his parade.
No.
I want him to enjoy every bit of that. And if I can get him out there every weekend and cook dinner for the whole week for us, I'm going to do that.
So does he have any favorite seasonings that he uses? I mean,
Let me
I know
tell you
got
what
some
he
Uncle Steve's.
loves. He loves that Uncle Steve's extra. Oh, God, what's the name of it? It's not Spicy R. It's something red.
Oh, yeah. Now that I'm trying to think of it, I can't think of
I
it.
can't either, but that's his favorite.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord, have mercy.
On
His
purpose?
youngest jumped out of an airplane.
I'm not jumping out
God
of no
bless him.
planes.
I wouldn't jump out of no perfectly operational plane for
If
all.
I get up in a little plane like that, I'm going to be counting how many people's on it because it's going to take a bunch to get me out the plane.
Howdy, KB Barbecue.
What's up, KB?
No, I wouldn't do that either, Quentin. That's a little too much adrenaline for me.
Yeah.
But you know what? I commend people who have the intestinal fortitude to do something like that.
Well, I mean, I know a guy that's what he works and lives for is to jump out of planes. He's a younger guy,
Yeah.
and I'm
You
thinking,
know-
okay, well, you're not married, you don't have a mess of kids, you don't have to support anybody. I guess if you splat, it's all on you.
Right. When you're young like that, you're 10 feet tall and bulletproof too.
Yeah.
So some people are. I never was.
I clicked the wrong button.
And I think the reason I never was because I was in that really bad car accident when I was 16, and it made me realize that things could be over tomorrow or in the next second.
I mean, if I get out on an open road, I got no problem maxing out a motorcycle to see what it'd do.
Well, yeah, when there's
And
nobody around you.
you know, but I ain't jumping out of a plane. I don't have any control over between the plane and the ground.
Oh, you're expecting a new grandbaby. I'm sorry. Hang on a second.
Well, that's awesome, Quentin. So,
Congratulations.
how many grandkids do you have?
I'm curious too. I think, is it just those two?
Not sure. I told you Vicky's a great grandma now, didn't I?
Who?
My
Oh,
wife.
Vicky. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought for some reason I thought you said Pinky.
No,
And I'm
no,
like,
Vicky.
who the hell is
It's my voice.
No.
Her oldest
Great grandma.
her oldest grandson. They had a kid here a while back, so
I'll be darned.
she's pretty excited to be a great grandma.
Oh, heck yeah, I would be too. I lived through it. See,
So
now
right now they're all in Hawaii, so she didn't get to see her.
Oh,
They was just across town, but her son-in-law's stationed in the army, and he got transferred out to Hawaii, so they're going to be over there for a few years.
oh my goodness. And then I don't know. That's hard. She should FaceTime him all the time, so the baby will know her when he gets back, or her, whatever.
It's a little boy, yeah.
A boy. Jack is blood. 2 adopted grandchildren, and okay, so 4. Well, I'm about to have grandbaby. Technically, number 3, 4. Technically, oh my gosh, Grumpus. Well, okay, my oldest daughter has 2 children. My son has one that he is the biological parent of and one that he's a step parent of. So they're my grandbabies too. That's number
Right.
4. That's
Right.
4. Well, then my other son, now we found out he's expecting a baby in December, and the baby mama also has an 8-year-old son. And I've been saying grandbaby number 5 for
That's
what,
6.
a month? But
Yeah.
technically, I guess it's 6, isn't it?
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
Why do they keep? Look, I'm getting them in doubles. I know you're happy, Quentin. It's a sweet thing. It's a wonderful thing when them grandbabies come along, isn't it? And they are different. And I don't care what anybody says. It's different.
Oh, yeah.
So different. I mean, you don't have to pay for them if you don't want to. I mean, you
Yeah, you
can.
play.
That's the great thing about it. It's like, oh,
play.
do I feel like supporting this child today? Yes, I do. Or
Play
no,
with them. You spoil them rotten.
yeah, feed them ice cream.
Make them cry. Fill them up with sugar and send them home.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you, and congratulations to you, Quentin. I'm excited beyond belief. And this grandbaby is going to live the perfect distance away from me, because the 2 that live here live
Yeah.
4 miles down the street, and that's a little close if you really want my personal.
Yeah. You want them close enough you can go visit, but not so close it's convenient to dump them.
Right. And then the other grandbabies, they live 7 hours away, so it's really difficult to see them on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And this one, the new one, is going to be 2.5 hours away. Is that not the perfect distance?
That's about right.
I love it.
That's
It's a
about
day
right.
trip. It's
Yeah.
spend the night with Granny. trip. It, whatever. But yeah. So we think it's great. Oh gosh, my back
So
is killing me.
back to his pork tenderloin.
Yeah.
Is he going to season it in the morning? Is he going to season it and let it sit overnight?
Well, it's sitting on the counter defrosting right now, so I'm gonna assume that that'll be done in the morning.
Yep.
Do you think you should marinate it a little bit?
It all depends. It all depends on what you like. Sometimes I'll rub them down the night before.
Okay.
Leave them in the refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to get real lazy, sometimes I'll just put them in a Ziploc bag with some Italian dressing.
Ooh. Ooh, that
But if
sounds.
I do that, I'm only going to let them marinate maybe probably no more than 3 or 4 hours.
Okay. Well, I'll just tell him in the morning to start that trick. I mean, he's got a lot of options.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
did
I've
one
got.
that way overnight, and it was too much because the
Mm-hmm.
vinegar, the
Mm-hmm.
vinegar and the Italian dressing.
It just got all in there.
Well, it just kind of almost tried to cook it like
Oh,
like
oh
a
yeah,
pork
yeah.
ceviche.
Right. Right. 6 grand on a. Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah, but now you got some quality time teaching them how to cook on that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. I mean, I enjoy it. Hey, Bone Tired, how are you doing?
I can't remember
Um,
his name.
I was just thinking.
He
I know
popped in
I
here
know his
before.
name. I know I do because we went through this last time when I. Oh, I'm sorry, Bone Tired, but
See, we
that's
got
okay.
we got 12 people in the chat.
Oh wow,
5 thumbs up. Hey,
diggity!
if y'all feel like it, you'd hit that thumbs up and help us out a little bit.
I'm gonna hit it too. Let's see.
Is it narcissistic if I give myself a thumbs up?
Not at all. It's like voting for yourself an election.
Oh, okay.
See, Jack loves barbecue. I love some barbecue too. And it took me many, many years to figure out that barbecue doesn't necessarily mean just sauce.
Oh no,
It's the process. It
exactly right.
and I know that now. But years ago I thought barbecue was sauced.
Oh well, when we grew up, we had one of those El Cheapo, just a charcoal grill.
Hmm.
Probably didn't get used twice a year,
Oh gosh.
but I remember for the Indianapolis 500. I
Hmm.
mean, anytime you fired it up, it was considered barbecue to us kids.
Hot dogs and hamburgers.
But Indianapolis 500 race would start. Back then it took all day to run the race,
Right.
and it was on the radio. You didn't watch it on TV. It was on the radio. So I'd fire up the radio and get the race going, and my dad would go out and start up that charcoal grill. I sure miss them lighter fluid burgers.
Like my grandma,
You
she
know
had
what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about because I used to spend weekends at my grandmother's house a whole lot. She was my mother's mother,
Uh-huh.
and my dad made sure that we still stayed in contact with her even after my mother passed. And she would buy these amazing steaks. I mean, steaks that I don't know if they were ribeyes or New York strips or Delmonico was her favorite one. I don't know what cut that is, but I remember her saying that a lot. But she would have this little hibachi grill, and she would make me and my brother steak and potato dinners when we'd go over there on that little
Nice.
tiny hibachi grill. And she'd remember little miniature Coke bottles? She'd fill it up with water And she'd sit out there and she'd watch them coals and she'd let them get good and, low. But when the grease would drip down, the flame would fall, psh, and she'd take her little Coke bottle with her finger over it and dribble a little bit of water.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was great. It was so great back then. But they were also lighter fluid steaks.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of, every once in a while I get a hankering for a Burger King burger because he got that gas steaks to him.
Hey, did you hear about Wendy's?
What about it?
Losing, I think they're going out of business, Grumpus.
Wendy's?
I think so. They're losing money, like they're really broke.
I don't know how that's possible as much as they're
either.
charging for their food.
I know, right?
I can go in there and get a burger and a Coke and fries and then spend $11-12 easy.
Oh, yeah. And don't add a Frosty because that's about $1.50 more. But that's my favorite thing. Yeah, I like the live fire cooks too. Yeah.
I guess basically I'm a pyromaniac that likes to cook.
Well, I think that's why my son's so attracted to this hobby.
He gets to play with fire and not get in trouble.
Well, when it comes to Boy Scouts, he's always the fire starter.
Yeah.
He learned how to make a fire with the flint stick.
Oh, okay.
When he was like 7, he was the master of the flint stick back in Cub Scouts.
Wow.
And now, I mean, his daddy will tell him, hey, go up, because we have a fire pit. It's an old rickety fire pit, but it works. And we do a lot of trash burning out there. Not indoor trash, but like limb debris and stuff like that.
Right.
So he'll tell Murphy, go out there and cut up them limbs and light a fire in that fire pit. And he's like on it. Bam, 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 bam. And he'll sit out there all day with fire hose in his hand, throwing limbs on the fire. He loves doing that. Fire makes us old folks hot. Look, speak for yourself, Quentin. I'm not old yet.
I mean, I considered firing the pit up today, but it was so stinking hot, and I really was focused on getting some work done, and I didn't want to get sidetracked.
Grumpus, if you'd have fired up that pit, you might have had a heat stroke.
I might have had one anyway.
You might have had one. Good point.
Yeah, I got on here at the very beginning, told everybody, I said, don't adjust your set. I'm pink.
You are pink. You are pink.
Well, you know what I think it is? I bought, some of it's the sun.
Yeah.
I buy these terry cloth washcloths.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got them at, it was either Harbor Freight or maybe Northern Tools, but they're white, and it's just a washcloth.
You wrap it around your neck or something?
And I use those out in place of paper towels. I can get, and they're so cheap, I can throw them away. They're like $1 or something like that.
Right.
But brand new out of the package, they're really stiff.
Uh-huh.
And I get to wiping my face off with a clean like that, and I think it's too abrasive.
Yeah.
So I was telling Vicki today I need to take that whole bag and just dump them in the washer and run a cycle through it.
Yeah.
But, I'm always wiping down the pit or wiping down the table, or if I'm in the yard, I got one in my back pocket.
Mm-hmm.
But today I was using a brand new, and I think I scratched my face up a little bit.
Yeah. Irritated your face. Yeah.
Plus you're sweating.
Look at here. I finished. Look.
Did you do all that tonight?
I've done 2 of these, and I started working on it night before. I crocheted from 11 o'clock last night until 11 o'clock this morning. I took a nap and started this when I woke up. So, yeah, I've done that today. Yeah. But the other piece is here, and I'll show you something.
Yeah, Quint, I'll do that. I mean, they're pretty cheap. I can get a couple uses out of them. I just toss them. But I'll
That's
go through a whole roll of paper towels in one cook.
sorry.
Now go ahead, Charlotte.
Oh, this is the sweater I was making last week.
Oh, you got it put together.
Yeah, look, it's even got real ribbing on the sleeve.
Fancy.
I haven't put buttons or anything on it yet. I think what I'm going to do is just buy a. Remember those old-fashioned sweater clips that people used to wear around their neck with the chains?
No.
You have to. Yes, you do. It was girls. And they would put their sweater around their neck and they wouldn't have their arms in it. And they would wear this little clip that clipped both sides together.
The girls I watched with sweaters, I couldn't have told you if it had a clip or not.
So it was those girls.
The sweater girls, you know.
Yeah.
Quint knows.
But anyhow, I'm just going to get a clip and clip it together in the center instead of using buttons because I don't need buttons. What the devil? But my daughter saw it yesterday, day before yesterday, and oh, Mom, I like that. Can you make me one?
There you go.
Obviously, I can.
Quentin, I know what you're talking about. I almost get resentful if I don't get my nap on the weekends.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, I did say clip with a P.
Kind of before your time, right?
Yeah.
We are obviously not talking about the same thing because that's been around for a long time.
Oh, boy. I'm just gonna be quiet now. But yeah, I mean, I'm doing this green one for her. So now, mind you, she already got a swimsuit cover up. This is gonna be the last thing I make her for a while because I got other things to do. Projects. But I won't bore you with any more girl talk.
Yeah, I hear you, Quint. Chris retired. We don't even hardly see him anymore.
Oh, wow.
Chris worked for the airlines.
Yeah.
I forget how many years you have.
Piloting
there,
or
Chris?
Mechanicking or
I think he was a flight attendant.
oh, okay.
Chris is the one that doesn't he don't just not like cilantro. He despises it.
Oh, okay.
Chris is the one that blew up the cilantro on the fence with with a cannon.
I did not see that, but
You
I
need
heard
to look
y'all
it up.
talking about that.
You
That
need
is
to look it up.
hilarious.
20 years. Wow.
Wow. That. Now, do you get perks even after retirement? Like, can you fly anywhere you want to for discounted prices and stuff? Just curious. See, I wish I liked to fly.
So I like to fly. It's just all the other crap that goes with it.
Yeah, it's very
The gauntlet you got to run through.
the security, the suspicion, you can't have that hair conditioner with you.
Trying to find a place to park, get in there with your luggage. It's just a pain in the ass.
It is.
I mean, once I'm on the plane, I love being up in the air.
No, not me. I get sick.
It's fun.
I get a little sick.
And I almost always, if I fly, I almost always go nonstop. Because every experience I've ever had with a
layover.
layover, everything was on opposite ends of the airport. And
Yeah,
they
that's
dump you
not
on
pleasant
one end,
when
you
you're
got to
in
catch it.
Atlanta.
Your flight leaves in another 15 minutes, and you're 20 minutes of walk away from it.
Right. Don't they have those little buggies that you like golf carts in the airport and you can catch a ride with them?
Yeah, but you got the limp just right before they'll pick you up.
Good point. Okay, the Louisiana Illuminator. I don't know who that is. It's
What'd you
a
quit?
newspaper or news organization of some sort. Says that Louisiana urged to be aware as what's expected to become Debbie heads toward the Gulf. Oh.
So it's a full-blown hurricane at this point.
The cone of craziness has gotten a little further to the west.
You going to hit me again?
No, it looks like it's headed right for my front door.
Yep, it does. It sure does. Well, at least it's the clean side.
Yeah.
So you'll get the rain you've been wanting, but maybe not the high winds, or as high a winds.
Okay, then.
You know, Chris, I thought about that too when she said cone.
Remember the cone is silent? Yes, I do. I remember Get Smart. Debbie does, Florida.
Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Hey, Tom.
Good to see you, buddy.
Florida's about to get something. I hope it's Florida. I hope it ain't Mississippi. I hate to wish that on those folks. I really do.
Well, I talked to one of my vendors a couple of weeks ago, and he was up in he's born and raised up in Oklahoma, where all the hurricanes always blow through,
Right.
or all the tornadoes blow through. And he said, you know, I moved down here to Texas, and it's the same thing. I said, the only difference is, I said, we know it's coming.
Well, that's true. And I'll tell you what, it's been pretty impressive the past few years with how accurate they've been with where it's going to go or where it's going to hit. 10 years ago, it could have wobbled either way. And now it seems like they're getting it pretty narrowed down. That's right, Bone Tired. You are in Mississippi. How
So, I mean, where I was at in Indianapolis, southern Indiana, we get tornadoes every year. I mean, severe tornadoes. And it was just normal. That's just what happened. But down here, it's nice having a 3 or 4 day warning.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, because you get to make the decision whether or not you want to stay around for it or not.
Well, you got time to stock up on some groceries. You fill your gas tanks up.
Okay. Yeah. Is it as hot there as it is down here? Bone Tired? Yeah. Oh, wow. Tom said it's 106 there today. Cold front. I'm going to turn my camera off, but I'm still listening. I'm going to keep you from being demonetized.
What the hell are you doing?
Well, apparently it is illegal or not advertiser friendly to have adult habits anymore.
Adult habits?
You know, my adult habit, smoking.
Oh.
And two of my videos were limited monetization recently for that particular thing.
I had never heard of that.
Well, it's a recent thing. And even drinking wine will do it, which is ridiculous.
I had no idea.
Because we're grown-ups and that's legal. Both things. I think it's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. That's almost censorship, in my opinion.
It kind of is, but I also understand that not everybody wants to see that. So
Well, that may be true, but I think we're adult enough we can police our own channels on what we want to allow and not allow.
I agree.
And I certainly don't need someone telling me that, if I want to have a beer or something, I can't do that.
Well, I don't know if they would do that if you had a beer in a koozie. But I do know with wine in my wine glass, I was limited advertising. And because I made a point not to smoke or vape on that particular video to see what would happen. And that's exactly what happened.
All right, so
They limited we talk about some crazy stuff too. So it could have been that too. I don't know. But I know I made a point of not smoking on my stream to test the waters.
but we already all right, so you already have to announce that it's not made for children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If I wanted to have a Dos Equis on my channel
Mm-hmm.
and just let everybody know it's not sponsored,
Right.
how is that any different than if I was sponsored
Mm-hmm.
and I was showing a beer and talking about how good it was?
I think what it does, it limits the monetization. So instead of it being a red $sign on your thing, it's yellow. And I think only advertisers that are okay with that kind of stuff will show ads on your thing. But it's a lot less than the ones, like Joann's Fabrics or whatever companies don't approve, won't advertise on those types of videos. So I'm not saying they're banning it or anything, or that it's the advertiser's choice, I guess.
Okay.
And, as a person spending money to get my product out, I understand being able to pick and choose who you want to, what you don't want to.
I can understand that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I get it.
But I think they're walking on thin ice there, and it's a fine boundary.
Yeah, exactly. What do they call it? A slippery slope?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I just would prefer to do it this way to keep anybody from either getting offended or getting demonetized or whatever. Because right now, I really need this. How long we've been on here? Almost 2 hours. I'm doing good. I'm doing real good. Well, I bought a new vape the other night, and I'm going to...
Is that really any better?
Yes, and I'll tell you why. It doesn't smell bad.
Okay.
That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing, is that it doesn't smell bad. So, and I've gotten way too liberal with doing this in the house. I need to quit doing this in the house, but I only do it right here in the kitchen. But it permeates, and I don't need my kids going to school smelling like that, and Poppy going to work, because I'm the only one in the house that has this terrible habit.
That's right, Tom. That's my $7, and I don't want them fooling with it.
I would worry about that when I'm making money.
That $7 was mine, fair and square.
Darn right. Hey, I made a whole $19 last month. I was tickled. Of course, I will say this. I haven't posted a video in what? I mean a video, a produced video, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
I've done live streams, but I haven't done a real video in over a year, I think.
Well, I think
That's my fault.
I'm ashamed to say it, but my last video was
It's been a while.
November 26th, 22.
Oh, I hear you, Tom. Quentin, you do support channels that you like. I see that a lot. Mm.
I mean,
Well-
I hate to, I mean, at this point in time, I can't really keep blaming it on COVID.
No.
It did get me out of my rhythm,
Yeah.
but I can't use it as an excuse anymore.
Well, and I was using my grandson and it was, I guess I could have filmed videos, but by the time I was finished babysitting him all day, I was exhausted.
Yeah.
I just can't keep up like I used to. And so it took all my energy just to do that one thing. And I guess I probably could have on the weekend or something made a video. I just didn't want to.
I think I got a little bit burnt out on just YouTube in general. Because, when everybody was staying at home instead of going into the office,
Right.
they're putting out 3 times the content that they normally would.
That is true.
And I'd fire my computer up, in the morning, and my little notifications up here that list would be so long
Yeah.
that it would take all day to try to watch all the videos.
Yeah. And you got other things to do.
Well, I mean, you can't stay on top of it as
Right.
much as you want to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was just getting a little burnt out. Not from
thing.
making the content, just from trying to keep up with the content.
Oh, yeah. She, him flower thing. That was for your big, what do you call it? Big plant.
Oh, that's the arbor. Yeah, that was my last video, my arbor in 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm. What kind of plant is that, Grumpus?
That was that was that staghorn fern.
Yeah, staghorn. Yeah.
That thing's about, it's probably 95 pounds
Holy Toledo.
when it's dry and needs water.
Mm.
You water that thing, you can't pick it up, or I can't pick it up.
I could sure use a cutting.
I know a guy.
Yeah. I could sure use a cutting off of one of the. I don't know how to mount it or anything.
That
I could YouTube that.
that thing started as a single leaf.
Oh my gosh. And how old is it?
Oh gosh, probably. I probably had that plant 30 years.
Oh, wow. Oh, and what do you do with it? You put it in the greenhouse in the wintertime?
I usually bring it in the sunroom.
Oh, okay.
This last winter, now that I got the arbor, I can put a tarp over the top and down
Okay.
the sides and close it all in.
Yeah.
And then I open up the windows on that end to the greenhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a little heater in the greenhouse, so it's just enough. It's not warm,
But it
it's
takes
just
the
enough to
freeze
keep it
off.
above freezing, so I
Yeah.
don't have to worry about it. It worked out real good this past year.
Huh. Well, I got my little plastic greenhouse. I could put a heater in there. Because I really don't want to. I mean, while it's little, I could bring one side.
Well, I can
Yeah.
keep. What I have is one. They call it a milk house heater.
Mhm.
The little tiny thing. They're real
Oh.
cheap,
Yeah.
and I can put it in the greenhouse and close everything up. And when it's freezing outside, I can keep the greenhouse around 38 to 40 degrees,
Well, that's all you need.
and that's enough to keep things from freezing.
Right. I'm a milk house.
I would really like to get a gas heater
Oh yeah.
for the greenhouse and just bring natural gas in to where I
What
could
about
keep it.
kerosene?
Well, I got to buy kerosene. If I go natural gas, I can plumb it in, and it's
Well,
just like
yeah,
your house. You just turn it on, turn the thermostat on.
yeah,
Something
yeah.
where I could keep the greenhouse. If I could keep it up, gosh, 50 degrees,
Mm-hmm.
50, 60 degrees in there. I mean, where you could go in there in the wintertime and actually work,
Right, right,
get your seedlings going, and you're working in a t-shirt. I could handle that. And we don't have that long of winters down here, so it's not like
right.
it'd cost me a fortune in gas.
Yeah, I mean, winter lasts maybe what? Here,
We got,
it lasts
what do
about
we
a
get?
month,
Maybe two good months of cold, maybe.
give or take. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the last couple
Um,
of years have been exceptional as far as the freezing,
right, right. Yeah.
but it's,
Oh,
you know,
yeah, it's the best season.
it's not unusual for me to go Christmas shopping in a t-shirt.
Right, right. Me too. Of course, I wear a lot of sweatshirts just because I think for me it's like a whoopee.
Security
You know what a
blanket.
whoopee is? It's a security blanket. Yeah, that's what I think it. Or sweaters. I wear a lot of sweaters and stuff. But oh
Yeah, it can get
wow,
out of hand, can it, Tom?
5 cameras later. My God, Tom. Fourth year. Can you believe that, Tom?
I can't remember if I'm doing 5 or 6.
I'm on my 5th year.
Let me see here.
Because I started YouTube right before I moved into this place. And I've been here 5 years in October. Holy crap, it has been 5 years. Ouch. I should be rich by now. Tom, what's wrong with us?
Yeah, where's all this money I was going to retire on?
Right?
Okay, I posted my first video August the 30th, 2018.
Oh, so you've been here longer than me.
I'm almost number 6.
Yeah. Because my first video, I think, was July of 19.
Well, I posted my first video August the 30th,
Mm-hmm.
but that was me receiving my pit, and that was a week before Memorial Day.
Okay. Okay.
So I had done all the camera work,
Mm-hmm.
but I was still undecided if I was going to start a channel or not.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you got one too, Quentin? Have you had your Marie bottle yet? Yes, you did. You got a Marie bottle.
5 cameras later. What can get out of hand, can it?
I remember when his fell in the soup. He was so fired up. He was mad as a hornet. Do you laugh about it now, Tom? Because we do.
Some things you don't get over.
I know, right?
Well, I think I'm done buying for a while.
Yeah,
I need to figure out the stuff I have.
yeah.
This crazy mixer, it shouldn't be this complicated, but I'm overlooking some. I think that noise you were hearing the other day,
Yeah.
that was, I believe, was too heavy of a compression,
Mm.
and the attack and delay, the compression when your voice when your sound goes up, it peaks,
Mm-hmm.
it goes down. Well, compression will push the bottom up and the highs down to make it a little bit more even,
Right, right.
so that you can get off your microphone a little bit without it going quiet on you.
Right, right.
Well, it's made so it'll cut out until you start talking, then it cuts in.
Uh-huh.
and it shuts off when you stop talking. And I think that's what we were hearing
Oh, yeah.
because you
That
don't
makes
hear it
sense.
now.
Not
And
at all.
I turned it off.
Okay.
I also think that's the reason why I couldn't get any volume out of it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So slowly but surely I'll figure this thing out.
Well, you're good at that kind of stuff anyway. So,
Apparently not. I've had this thing since February.
well, but you haven't had a lot of time on it either.
Well, I really haven't, but
So there's that. See, all of those paint bottles that olive oil bottles that she sent out, they're gonna be one of a kinds.
I think Tom's still emptying the bottles just in case.
You think so?
I'd be willing to bet.
I don't know. He's getting pretty strict with himself, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel lucky to have one too, Quentin. And I love mine. I use it just about every day. What was I going to say? I forgot now. Shoot. Getting old ain't for sissies. Shoot.
Well, Tom, what do you got now? 3 channels? Did you start the 3rd channel? Cause you talk about somebody working it. Tom's really putting in the effort.
He really is. I wish I had that much motivation.
Yeah, I wished I had that much want to.
Right.
He says yes, so he's got 3 channels now.
Wow. Tom, how hard is it for you to manage 3 channels? Just curious. Because I was thinking about starting another one, and I can't even post videos on the one I got. Wesley told me I was being ridiculous, that I shouldn't do that.
What's that?
Start a new channel. Because this one's already, you know.
I mean, you could have, different segments.
Yeah.
I mean, your Golf Coast Granny, so you can do, just like all these lives I've been doing, Grumpus After Dark.
Right.
Boom. Doesn't take away from the barbecue stuff.
Right.
But it's another rabbit hole to go down.
Well, I've gone back and forth with this decision. And one of the things that is kind of motivating me to make another channel is the fact that Gulf Coast Granny is just a conglomerate of stuff.
Yeah.
And advertisers and people who want to give you money don't want that. They want you to be a one-trick ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought, well, if I really want to get serious about possibly monetizing in a serious way, then it might be a good idea to do what they want me to do.
Well, there's nothing wrong in trying it.
But now what Wesley said was I should try it on Gulf Coast Granny first. And if it doesn't work out, I could move everything over to a new channel. And start one fresh that way.
Well, because you're wanting to do the crocheting and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean,
And I just
try it out. Try a new channel and just see if it gets more traction than your gardening and cooking.
Yeah. Well, and again, I'm not doing a lot of gardening and cooking, am I? Shoot. Tom hitting the drums still. Yeah. You're popular in the Congo. Is that what it says?
Yes. Yeah.
Holy crap. I don't even know what mine says anymore. Yeah, I'm still kind of struggling with the whole idea. I'm don't know what would work the best. But whatever happens, I need whatever I do next to really work, or
Yeah.
I need to just use this as a hobby and be happy with it. Because but one of the main reasons I started doing this was because I thought that it might possibly supplement our retirement in 10 years.
Yeah.
And now that's a pipe dream.
Well, I mean, that's when I started 6 years ago. I thought, okay, well, I've got 5 years to retirement if I decide to retire. Dip my toe into it, see what it's all about, and if I retire, then hit it
Right.
hard and heavy.
Right.
But don't look like I'm going to retire anytime soon. My choice.
Right.
But I don't know. I have been very standoffish trying to make sure my channel don't turn into a job.
Right. Right.
Which is just the opposite of everybody I've talked to. Everybody wants their YouTube to take off so they can quit their job.
Right.
And I'm afraid that'll take the fun out of it for me.
Well, and I'm a little afraid of that too, Grumpus. Really. Well, I don't know. Because I want it to be something fun to do.
Now, I mean, if it supported itself, that would be, to me, that would be ideal. If it paid for the meats and stuff I cooked, and paid for the, different things like that, equipment if you need it, stuff
Right.
like that.
Right.
But I never got in it thinking I was going to get rich off of it.
Right. Me either. Shoot, $200 or $300 a month would make me happy as a pig in slop. Just because it would pay for my yarn.
I doubt that.
I could have a bigger yarn budget. Believe me, I keep my yarn budget very, very small. Normally. I don't splurge too much. Once in a great while, if there's a good sale going on, then I do go a little crazy. But I'm not really a spendthrift anyway. I'm not one of them people that spends frivolously.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. But
Sunday
Poppy,
Dinner Chef is really doing good.
do what?
I was talking about Tom's channel. Yeah,
Oh yeah, it is doing well. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm glad for you, Tom.
well, I like to see somebody working that hard, get a
Actually
payout.
get something out of it. Right.
Yeah, I get a little irritated sometimes. These people pop on there, they have one or two good videos, it just goes nuts,
Yeah.
and that's their whole channel from that
Right.
point on.
Right.
But I know a lot of people that work really, really hard at it and don't get what I think they deserve.
Yeah, I was telling Poppy this afternoon. I said, "Do you realize for the first 2 years that I did YouTube, I posted a video every three times a week, 3 videos a week, and
I can imagine that.
It did nothing for me, nothing for the paycheck, nothing for subscribers, nothing for watch time. I didn't get watch time until I started going live."
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, I don't want that to happen with channel number 2 at
Yeah.
all. And that's one reason that I'm hesitant to start another one. Because
It won't cost you anything.
I don't have any magic sauce to make it work. Your other channel, I dress up like Julia Child, not going so well.
Yeah, but you got to weed through so many other them channels to find you, Tom. I get 3 channels in and I lose focus.
It's a little passe now, If you'd have done that 5 years ago, you'd have been the hit.
Well, when I started, my goal was 3 videos every 2 months, and
Okay.
that turned out to be a little bit more aggressive than I could handle.
Oh my. Oh my. Well, the following year, the third year, I took it down to 2 videos a week because I thought, well, this ain't doing me no good. So why bust my butt? Maybe I should have kept busting my behind and not give up so easy. But to me, 2 years is not an easy give up.
No,
2 year, you know,
I mean, to me, I can't. It doesn't feel like 6 years.
no, no,
I mean, some of the friendships I've developed along the way, it seems like we've known each other forever.
forever. Yeah,
But it doesn't seem like I've been putting videos out for 6 years.
right. And that
I
makes
guess I
sense.
haven't. Only 4.
Good point. Good point. Yeah. Well, whatever happens is going to happen. I can only do what I can do, and you can only do what you can do.
Well, it's just a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's just one more hobby that got out of hand.
Well, and that's one reason too that I kept mine. I have to buy groceries anyway, so why not cook them?
Well, yeah.
I grow a garden regardless of whether I'm on YouTube or not, so why not show it?
I agree with you.
I have chickens regardless or not, why not show them?
I've
I'm
got,
going to I'm going to crochet whether I am on YouTube or whether I'm in a nursing home. Show that too. So it hasn't really cost me a lot of anything. I bought a new cell phone. Um, I've bought some lighting. I've bought
yeah.
tripods, but those are insignificant costs to me. You know, not insignificant, but they're not
Well, I mean,
breaking
I
the
had
bank.
I
Let's
had
put it that
family
way.
back home, and especially when my nephews started getting old enough to leave home and get interested in this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we could do. I'll let them know what I've been doing all these years,
Mm-hmm.
right or wrong. But my mom, and I showed you that cookbook that my mom hand wrote
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't think of anything nicer that a mom could do to her kids.
I agree.
And
I
that's her
agree.
recipes that she cooked for us when we were little. Some of
Right.
grandma's recipes, some of the church socials and recipes and
Mm-hmm.
stuff and all that. But God, can you imagine how much work that was?
God.
My mom
Yeah.
had 5 kids.
Jeez. Yeah,
So
that's a pretty special thing she did there.
so I brought that up said that to say this. I figured the videos would be easier. I was
Then writing the
lazy.
cookbook.
I was lazy. I'm not going to handwrite a cookbook, but I can leave some videos behind.
Right. Right.
And my nephew's nephew can hunt them up.
Right. Well, and that was another motivation for me to start a channel too, was because they're always calling me saying, "Hey, mom, how do you do this? How do you
Yeah.
do that?" Well, I'll put it on video, and that way, when I'm gone, they won't be missing anything. So, sort of. You know what I mean? You do.
Yep, I know exactly what
Yeah.
you mean.
Yeah. So, I'm going to have to take a little bit of a break. I need to visit the facilities.
Well, enjoy yourself.
I will.
Quentin, I might have to see if maybe I can photocopy those pages. This is like a spiral bound cookbook that my mom hand wrote all the recipes in it. And a lot of the stuff us kids grew up with is in it. But the fact that she sat down, I mean, this is not a little thin cookbook. This is, it's maybe ½ inch thick. And my mom took the time to sit down and handwrite all that stuff out. I just thought it was fabulous. But yeah, maybe I ought to figure out a way to scan all those pages in and come up with one for anybody that'd be interested in it. Yeah, if I ever get to Vegas, I'm gonna hook Tom up, because I bet he knows all the good eating places. I'm not a big casino guy. I'll I'll go down in the evening, pick up a roll of nickels or a roll of quarters, and see how far that takes me. When I'm done, I'm done. I've done had all the free drinks I want at that point.
Mm-hmm. I went to Vegas one time, and it was the biggest culture shock I've ever experienced in my entire life.
Really? In a good way or not?
It was total overstimulation.
Sensory overload.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And I'm not autistic or anything, but it sure made me think I was, because I just couldn't. Of course, I'm not from that kind of. I've never been in that kind of environment before, so it was just so different. And
yeah, it was different. I enjoyed it, but I'm not a heavy gambler.
See, I'm not either. I'm not. In fact, good Lord, I've got a casino 4 miles from my house, and I don't think I've been in that place one time in the last 5 years.
I would go for 4 days,
Mm-hmm.
and I would leave more money in tips than I ever gambled.
Yeah.
Because I would save $2 bills, because I win every year. I'd save $2 bills all year long to take to Vegas with me. And I'm serious. I'd sit down in Mirage or someplace like that, and I'd get me a roll of nickels, sit at the nickel machine, and as soon as you get one of them girls to walk by, they'd bring you a drink.
Right.
And I'm feeding this machine nickels. I tip her $2, a $2 bill. And that kept them coming on. Even when they changed shifts, they would tell the new person, he's giving $2 bills. He's giving $2 bills.
Yeah.
And I'd sit there and play for maybe 3 hours, 4 hours before I'd run through all my nickels and lose them. Well, a roll of nickels is what, $2.50?
Yeah. Well, $2. $2.
So
Yeah.
So I'd get, if I felt good that night, I might get 2 rolls.
Right. Right.
But I figured,
Shoot.
I had a great time.
Well, now you got a card and you load your card up.
Yeah, I don't like that.
And I don't like it. Well, you know why they do it, because it's
because it's not real money.
Yeah.
I like touching the money.
Me too.
I was in Bellagio one night.
Mm-hmm. That's a beautiful hotel.
On the nickel slots. And I was in there, had a few drinks and sitting there enjoying myself. I hit that dude, and I think it was like 2,500 nickels. That thing started dropping nickels and ding, 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 making all this racket like that. And I was so embarrassed.
I would have been embarrassed too.
I thought everybody in there knows how cheap I am now. I didn't think I was ever going to stop dropping nickels.
Holy Toledo. Oh my gosh.
I'll tell you what, it was just as thrilling as if I'd have been putting silver dollars in it.
Oh yeah. I think the most I ever won was about $600.
I've never hit anything that big.
My daughter called me one night. She used to go to the casino a lot. She met this gentleman there who was an attorney. We called him Sugar Daddy. Because she'd get dressed to go out to the casino, and he had I guess he gambled enough that he always had comped rooms.
Oh, okay.
And so she'd go spend the weekend at the hotel with Sugar Daddy.
Pretty strong gambler there.
Yeah. And he yeah, it was bad. But she called me up one night he had given her like, I don't know, $1,000 to gamble with. And she called me so excited. She said, he told me whatever I won, I could keep.
I'd figure I
And
just won 1,000.
she won, I believe it was $2,500 on the not blackjack table. She liked playing, they call it Mississippi Stud. I don't know what game that is.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with it. It's a card game?
Yeah, it's some kind of card game. And she won it on that table, and she was so stinking excited. I will never forget that. I can make my car payment now. I'm like, well, if you get a job, you could probably make, you know.
Yep, I may have soiled myself if I won that much money.
Right? Oh, she was crying happy. It was crazy. And I'm
Hey,
like,
Josh, how you doing?
but I told her, I said, honey, you do realize that's really not a lot of money, right? She said, well, it's what I need right now. Well, you got a point.
Well, I hit 2,500 nickels. That was what's that, $125?
I don't know.
It was like winning a car for me.
You said 2,500, right?
2,500 nickels.
Divided by 0.05. Okay, no. 20
Did I have it wrong?
times. I did the
500.
wrong math. 0.05. Yeah, it's $125.
Yeah,
Oh, heck yeah, that was,
that's my big win for the week.
yeah, that would have been a nice win. To me, it would have. Of course, I'm like you, I'm cheap. I'll go to the casino with $25. Hey, Skinner Farms. And when that $25 is gone, I leave.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, anytime I've ever gone to Vegas, I didn't expect to come back with any money.
right. But now if I win, I'll tell you this, I don't play no more. I take home what I won.
Oh yeah,
I'm not one of them that'll say, "Oh, maybe it'll hit again." It ain't gonna hit again.
I'd run a whole roll through the machine
Mm-hmm.
and cash out when I put the last nickel in.
Yeah,
Sometimes I was ahead, sometimes I was behind. Then I go find another machine.
there you go. So, but I don't care for gambling that much. I think it could be too fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's dangerous. That's why I stay away from it. For me, it's dangerous. I'm sure. I
well,
just
I
know.
enjoyed the trip out there. It was a computer convention.
Mm-hmm.
I went every year. I think 7 years in a row.
Oh wow.
But when I took money with me, I just, I portioned it out for however many days I was there,
Right.
and that's all I had in my pocket at that day.
Right.
And sometimes I go back to the room at 4. Sometimes I go staggering back at midnight.
Staggering back.
See how long the money lasted, because I expected to leave it there.
Right. No, I'm sure if I had enough money to gamble, I would. I probably would. But you know what's funny? What me and Wesley decided, when we used to go, we take $25 or $30 each with us.
Yeah.
And what Wesley said was, we would spend that much going to a movie or out to dinner, or this is entertainment cost.
Oh yeah.
And I could get behind that.
If I lost $100 in an evening, it still stretched farther than these people paying $250 to go watch a magic show or something that only lasts 90 minutes.
Right. Now I would have paid $250 to go see Celine Dion in concert.
I don't know if I could pay that much to see anybody.
Oh, I could have.
I'll buy the DVD.
I'll listen to it on the radio.
Yeah.
Did you see her at the did you watch the Olympic thing where she was singing?
No,
Well,
I have boycotted the Olympics.
I didn't watch the fiasco that happened. I have no idea I have a synopsis of what happened according to what I heard on YouTube, but
I watched the highlights on YouTube.
Yeah.
Or the lowlights, whatever you want to call it.
Right. But I did watch the part. In fact, I sought it out where Celine Dion sang, because it was just such an incredible feat for her to be able to come back like that.
Yeah, because she hasn't been singing any, has she?
No, she has some rare disorder. It's called stiff person disease. And her muscles basically lock up on her. And she's really struggled the past few years. That's why she quit in Vegas. And I was just really happy to see her back singing, and she sounded beautiful, as she always does.
Yeah.
And it was a good day for people interested in her music. A really good day.
I mean, I've got one of her concerts that she did in Vegas in my library. It's really good.
She is quite the performer. Probably one of the better ones of all time. And I say one of, because there's probably a handful, But.
Yep, Quint, I'm boycotting them. I'll look at the highlights of the stuff I'm interested in on YouTube, but I'm not wasting my TV time and watching the sponsors or any of that stuff.
Right.
I'm just one guy. I probably don't make a difference, but it makes me sleep better at night.
I'm not watching it. I don't have any interest, especially after I found out about the boxing match.
Yep, that was pathetic.
Awful.
Absolutely pathetic.
Awful.
But the young gal should not have gotten in the room with him.
No, she shouldn't have. She should have forfeited
refused.
that and said, "I'm done." No.
Let me tell you something. They spent a lot of money to put that show on TV, and all that goes with it. And if she refused to go in there and embarrass them on national TV, that's what it's going to take.
Yeah.
There's no moral difference. You got to hit them in the pocketbook. That's the only thing they understand.
Right.
And if a whole soccer or a soccer team refused to play because there's a dude on the other team, if a whole basketball team refused to play, a whole volleyball team, that's what it's going to take.
I get that.
We can get as mad as we want, but until these young ladies stick up for themselves,
yes,
it's whatever me and you have to say about it doesn't matter.
Means nothing.
But let everybody show up for the big show, and then the big show don't happen. Now you've got somebody's attention.
That's a problem then, wouldn't it?
Yep.
But
I'm doing my best, Quint.
Yeah. Ugh. It's gonna really. I'm not even going there. Forget it. I didn't say anything.
Are you living better now than you lived 4 years ago?
I keep saying that to myself.
That's all. That's all it boils down to.
I keep saying it over and over and over.
You can hate the people,
right?
But respect the work.
Well, and it's not just. I'll tell you what the tragedy in this is. There are better people in this country than those two bozos.
Well, I mean, if you just stop and think about it, the people that would do the best jobs are not going to put their families through the crap.
Yeah.
So it takes a certain type of individual narcissistic reasons to put your family out there so you can get what it is you're
Power.
looking for.
That power.
So, I mean, that goes across the board on both sides.
It does. It
The
does.
smartest people in the world would never run and
And
put.
I'll tell you, I don't know if you realize this or not, but I feel the same way about both sides.
Oh, I do too. I hate everybody equally.
It's I don't have anything. In fact, what I mean to say is I don't think there's a lot of redeeming qualities on either side. That's what I mean.
Well,
And that's okay.
I think the point of view for the parties is skewed.
Yeah. Well, and
the,
that's
the herd that I hang with are against policies. Different policies are being made.
mm-hmm,
We hate the policies.
mm-hmm.
The other side of the fence, they just hate one man.
And
Doesn't
that
matter
is
what the
true.
policy is.
That
They
is-
hate a man. They're
That's
scared
right.
to death of a man.
And I see that. I do.
So it's the whole thing is skewed. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to leave. You're amongst friends here.
Yeah. See, I shouldn't have said anything.
No. I don't think that's got anything to do with it. But I
But
mean,
I mean-
that's the way I feel about it. There's been times I wished I could just break that guy's thumbs. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Don't make it worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, good night, Quentin.
Love you back, Quentin. Take
I
care
appreciate
of
the
yourself.
support, and we'll see you next week.
And let us know about that new grandbaby when it gets here.
Yeah.
Um,
But at the same time, for me, it all boils down to, if you buy gasoline, if you buy groceries,
yeah.
what more do you need to know?
Do you know my household costs have gone up, and mine is less than most people because we are more frugal than most people. And we don't go around spending money like it's water.
Yeah.
My household costs have gone up over $500 a month in the past 18 months. It's insane. And I keep wondering, why aren't these envelopes filling up like they were before? Because I was saving a crap ton of money. And now I'm not. And I'm like, what happened? And the paycheck hasn't gone up that much.
I come home, my check hasn't gone up at all.
Oh. Well, we did.
I come home after work one night. I called Vicky on the way home and said, you need anything? She said, well, I need some milk. I'm out of milk.
Mm-hmm.
So I ran into the store to pick up milk. And while I was there, I'll pick up this. I'll get some of this. I remember we're out of that. Before you know it, I'd spent $150.
Right.
And I reached in and grabbed all the bags out of the shopping cart and carried it to the car in one hand.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I remember you used to fill up a whole grocery cart.
Or two.
And barely break 100.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, a bag of $5 for a bag of potato chips.
Insane.
12 pack of sodas is pushing $8-9.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
And we
it's
don't
crazy.
even buy soda anymore.
Well, I don't eat. I mean, I'll buy a little, but not like I used to.
I mean, we might stop if we're on a trip or if we're headed over to my daughter's house over in Gulfport.
Yeah.
We'll stop and get a soda. Me and Wesley will share one, and the kids will share one.
Yeah.
Because I'm not spending that. But I don't know. It's just, of course, convenience stores have always been more expensive than.
Well, that's true. That's true. But yeah, $16 for a package of toilet paper. Give me a break.
No kidding.
Give me a break.
Oh, don't buy that brand. Buy the hang on.
So anyway, that's how I'm voting this year. Is people always vote for what
Into your pocketbook.
They don't vote for what's good for the public. They vote for what's good for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I'm voting this year because I'm tired of the grocery bills.
I'm tired of that. I'm tired of the gas prices fluctuating. I'm tired of my rent going up. I'm tired of my insurance going up. Everything has gone up.
My
Everything.
my homeowners doubled last year.
Ouch. And that was
Doubled.
before the hurricane.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's a tragedy. And these young people today,
They're clueless.
I don't know how they're going to survive. I really
Well,
don't.
the young people are buying into the carrot that's being dangled in front of them. Everything's been handed to them to this point, so that's what they're used to.
Hmm.
And the government is slowly trying to own everybody.
Hmm.
And we'll give you this for this, and we'll give you for your food. We'll give you this for your gas. I mean, they want the general public to be dependent on the
Right.
government.
Yeah.
And once that happens, these little princesses are going to be sadly wide awake when the government pulls that back from them.
My daughter makes pretty good money for the part-time job that she has.
Yeah,
She saves, she goes on trips, she buys her own clothes, she buys her own gas, she does her own car maintenance, she pays for her insurance, her cell phone, and pays half of her college with me. And she was talking the other day about when she moves out. She needs to start saving money for when she moves out. And I said, well, you got to have a job to move out.
yeah. How long do you think that savings is going to last?
And she's like, well, I know, Mom. That's why I'm going to college. And I get that. I do. I said, but I told her, I said, you don't even know what kind of job you're going to have yet. I said, I don't think that you should be talking about moving out before you graduate. That's what she was talking about, was moving out so she could go to the university that's an hour north of here. And I told her, I said, you can't afford to do that, period. Oh, well, I could get roommates. I said, you can't depend on other people.
Nope, you cannot.
I said, what happens when that roommate is short and you got to make up the $500 difference or the $600 or the $700 or the $800 difference?
Yeah.
What happens when that roommate can't afford to pay the electric bill? Don't depend on other people because they suck. And they will throw you under the bus financially or any other way.
Yep.
I said, you don't understand that not everybody out there in the world who smiles at you is your friend. They're just not.
Especially the ones that tell you they're your friend.
Right, right. And but the thing is, I'm sitting here thinking, I know what the normal rent is for a 2-bedroom apartment. Here it's about $1,100 to $1,200 a month, which is insane.
Wow.
It's insane. If me and Wesley were to go rent a 2-bedroom, 3-bathroom house, reverse that, 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in this little town, it would cost us $1,400 to $1,600 a month.
Unbelievable. Wow.
It's crazy.
I've never had a house payment that high.
I haven't either. And
Wow.
so how is she going to do it? How? I just don't know. I don't even think, when you're first graduated from college, your income might be 30, 40, maybe 60 grand a year.
If
I
you're
don't
lucky,
think you can do it with that.
1 bedroom at $2,200 a month. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. It's crazy. It's just crazy.
Well,
And I want her to move out.
I mean, even if she was lucky enough to land a job that would pay that,
Mm-hmm.
she's not going to have time to go to school.
She wouldn't have time to go back to school, and she would to get her master's degree. And she's not going to have any money to put away so that she can eventually buy her own place.
Yep.
You know, she's not going to have that. She'll be living paycheck to paycheck, just like the government wants her to. So,
Yep. So we need to change it.
I don't know if that miracle.
I don't know. I don't know if that train can be switch tracks or not.
Right, but
What
somebody's got to figure out
we've
that
got
that's
to
a
try
train that
something
needs
different.
backing up. You
Got to
know,
try something different because what's happening isn't working.
right, right. So I don't know what these young people are going to do, because I know for a fact that if Poppy and I had to go spend that $1,400 a month on a rental place, or buy a home and spend that $1,400 a month mortgage with the insurance and everything, we would not be doing as good as we are now. I mean,
No.
we'd be struggling a little bit, until we got used to it, and until I figured out a way to, do things differently. I would figure it out. Make no bones about it. But she doesn't have the experience. These young people don't have the kind of experience that we have. Well, when you're broke and you're trying to save money, you don't go to McDonald's. You don't go have your coffee every morning. You don't go on dates. You don't spend your money on the games that you play.
Yeah.
You entertain yourself by digging up the backyard and turning the grass over.
I mean, it's easy. It's easy for them to say, but you got experience. But they fail to realize in our 20s we didn't have any experience either.
Exactly, and it was hard for us too, I think.
I got job after job after job.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have the luxury of shopping for a job.
Right.
Once that paycheck stops, you that clock's ticking. You got to find another job in a hurry, and whatever it is, that's what you're an expert at that day.
My son, who just bought his first house, he's doing okay, but his house payment is 50% of his income.
I remember them days.
And I keep telling him, son, what you should do right now is go work a part-time job for 6 months and take every dime that you make and put it in the bank. And that way, if there comes a point in time when you get in a bind, you've got a backup. He says, I'm not going to work 2 jobs, Mom, because I don't have to. I said, you are single. You have no children, no responsibilities to anybody except yourself. I said, if I was in your position when I was your age, I'd have been working 24/7 as long as I could.
Well, I mean, Dave Ramsey. That's one of his main deals is save up $5,000. That covers a set of tires or car breaking down or whatever. And you should have 6 months earnings in the bank. In case something happens at your job.
Right.
I mean, that's just his golden rules. Well, it sounds good, but I can't imagine me trying to put 6 months aside.
Yeah, 6 months would be hard.
That would take several,
My
probably
goal
a decade
is
for me.
Well, and
because don't get me wrong, I mean, my job.
Grumpus, you could find a job anywhere.
My job doesn't pay that well. I'm kind of there for the loyalty.
Right.
But I work full time. The wife works full time. Neither one of us could make it on our own.
Right.
But together we can bank a little bit. We can go out and eat once in a while.
Right.
It's just I'm not going to sit here and say it's horrible. But you got to plan for the rainy day. And people don't even think about it.
No, they
I
don't.
didn't think about it in my younger years.
Uh-uh. Well, and
My
I don't
future
know if
was the next paycheck.
I don't know if it's parents that are lacking in teaching this concept, or if it's schools, or if it's
Schools don't push personal finance.
they don't.
Most parents don't know for personal finance to even teach their kids.
True. True.
So, the
Well, and a
kids
lot
grow
of
up
kids,
seeing their parents struggle
mm,
and they think
and
that's just the way it is. That's the
uh-huh.
norm.
Well, and I also know a lot of kids, one in particular that I will not name her name. She's bullheaded and wants to do what she wants to do, and what I say don't matter.
Well,
So
we were all there at one time.
F around and find out, you
Yeah.
know. And my son, the one that I just told you about, he's doing the same thing. He's so bullheaded that he doesn't want to take advice from somebody who's a boomer, or whatever he calls me. I'm not a boomer, by the way. I missed it by a year. I'm an Xer. Thank you very much. And I remind him of that too.
Charlotte, I got on a live stream uh, maybe a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
Just kind of stumbled across it and they invited me up. And
Oh, well.
I got on a soapbox. I'll probably never be invited again.
Uh-oh.
But we had some Zers,
Mm-hmm.
you know, talking about how rough they've got it and all this
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I remember some rough times, but, talking about how rough it is. And somebody brought up the subject of Social Security
Uh-huh.
and how, it's not right that they'll probably never get any Social Security because the baby boomers are eating it all up.
What? The baby boomers paid for their Social Security.
Charlotte, I almost jumped through my monitor,
Oh my God.
and I got on my soapbox and I took them to school and I says, look, I said, when I got my first job at 16 years old
Yeah.
and I worked 12 hours and I got my first paycheck and saw that they took money away from me for Social Security and Medicare and things like that.
Right.
I said, I was furious. I said, but it was, it was explained to me that that's a savings account that the government set up for you, whether you want it or not, and that's your money that you're putting in there.
Right.
I said, now, and I told this young lady, I said, it's real easy for you to sit there and say, I'm using up all your Social Security, but you haven't put no money in yet.
Right. Right.
I said, you guys are the ones prancing down the streets saying it's okay to let all these illegals come over.
Right.
Where do you think they're getting their money from? They're pulling that out of Social Security.
Quitting their jobs and
I
job
says,
hopping.
I'm only pulling my money back. That's my money. That's not your money. Your money will be there when you get old enough. I said, but I let her know I resent the fact that they think we're taking all the money away and there won't be any for them when they get old.
Well,
And
if
they
the
just
government
don't get
had
it.
mishandled those funds to start with, it wouldn't even be an issue.
I agree with that 100%. But my point was, don't be telling me I'm taking money that won't be there when you're there.
Right, because you're withdrawing your money.
I said, in fact, the government's betting I'm going to drop dead before I can get all of mine.
Right? Right? And they're hoping that. They are hoping for that.
Well, of course.
It's not like it used to be. Everything is done online. No more face-to-face. My grandson is having a hard time finding a job. Well, and you know something? That's one good thing about living in this small town is these kids all the business owners know these kids. They're friends with their kids, and they've watched these kids grow up in this town. And so they can just walk in and say, hey, are you hiring? And it's just done, especially the restaurants and the little private businesses. Now, if you want to get a job at Walgreens or Walmart or some of those corporate type places, then yeah, it's all online. But here it's been fairly easy.
Yeah, I still think that, and Tom's right. That's the way the system is set up now.
Yeah, it is.
But if I lost my job tomorrow,
Yeah.
I'm going to be knocking on doors.
Me too.
I'm
Do it
going to
the
have my tie
old-fashioned
on, my coat and tie on. I'm going to have my resume under my arm, and I'm going to look up what this company does before I walk in the door.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to tell you something. Somebody walks into my office and asks for a job,
Yeah.
I'm 90%. They've got a better chance of me hiring them right there because they had enough gumption to walk in.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Instead of sending their buddy in saying, I've got a friend looking for work. I want somebody that's got enough umption to himself to come in and ask for the work, and maybe this is somebody that I'll get some work out of.
That's right. I will never forget.
Person won't come in and ask for the job.
Mm-hmm.
I already know they're not going to work for me.
Right.
They're going to do the bare minimum because that's what they did to get the job.
Yeah, they sat on their butt.
So Tom's right. They're set up that way, but I still think there's still some baby boomers out there that are hiring.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. When my kids were little and I was a single mom with 5 mouths to feed, I needed a job desperately. And I knew, remember AOL?
Oh, yeah.
Well, they were headquartered somewhat in Jacksonville, a lot of their operations. And I went to AOL that day. And I said, I put on a dress. It was a suit type dress and my high heeled shoes. And I did all the stuff, And I walked in there and the lady said, "Can I help you?" I said, "Yes, I need a job and I'm not leaving until I get one." And she goes, "Well, wait over there." And I sat and I waited. And this lady comes out. She goes, "I hear you're not leaving until you get a job." I said, "That's right, ma'am." She says, "You're hired." I said, "Okay, we got a deal."
Well, I had bought my ex a keyboard,
Mm-hmm.
a piano keyboard,
Mm-hmm.
for her birthday one year. And we're talking 3-4 years down the road. I'm a glazer. I'm building windows. I've been the aluminum, make the windows, cut the glass, all that. That's what I did.
Okay.
I lost that job, and I needed a job like tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
I went back to the mall, to that piano store.
Uh-huh.
I don't play piano. I don't play organ. I went back to that store and told them I was looking for work.
Yeah.
Because they had a sign out front, accepting applications.
Right.
And of course, most of those people are good musicians.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the lady said, "What do you play?" I said, "No, I don't play." And she said, "Well, why are you here?" I said, 4 years ago, you sold me a keyboard. And you sold me on the idea that you could play that keyboard without knowing how to play.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I said, I'm here to sell that idea to other people.
That's awesome.
And she said, and she sat me by a keyboard. She said, "What, can you show me what you do know?" And of course, this is one of them things. It's got the rhythm on it. It's got the horn section. It's got all this stuff. I cranked all that thing up and started giving it one of these. And she hired me on the spot. She said,
No
you might be on to something." So I worked there almost 2 years.
No kidding.
I tell people that all the time. I need a job so bad. I took a job at the piano store and don't know how to play them.
I love it.
But you've got to walk in and ask for the job.
Yeah.
You got to have enough moxie. I already knew I had a 50-50 chance.
Right. They'll either say yes or no.
And if they tell me to take a hike, I haven't lost anything.
You didn't lose anything.
I haven't lost anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's coming off of a metal building, building windows, and putting on a suit and tie and selling organs.
That's what my boy does. He's a glazer.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that has just bought the house.
Yep. I did that for 20 some years.
He really enjoys it.
Well, we actually built I built the windows.
Yeah.
So all the special octagons, hectagons, arch tops, all this
Hmm.
fancy stuff like that. That's what I used to do. Bend all the metal, and they cut all the glass and put them in.
I'm not sure if he's learned that much yet.
Well, if he work, it depends if he's working at a glass company or a window company. It's two separate animals, two separate businesses. So if you build windows, generally you're putting glass in them. If you're working for a glass shop, then you're usually going out and replacing broken glass, mirrors, putting up mirror walls, stuff like that.
Yeah. Well,
So
I
I'm
know
not sure what he does.
I think he works for a glass company. He
Yeah.
used to work for a window company, but now he's working for a glass company. Um,
Probably more money in the glass company.
I know he installs a lot of showers, glass showers.
Okay.
I know he
Yeah.
does that. And he does a lot of windows, but I think he installs windows a lot.
Okay.
Um, I,
Replacement windows.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I got you.
And I know that, but then these are just parts of what I know. I don't know everything that he does.
Yeah.
But he does have a company truck, and they pay for his gas, which is great.
I mean, it's not a hard job. It's heavy. It can get heavy sometimes.
It can get hot.
Get hot. The glass gets heavy.
In fact, he called me Friday on his way home from work. He said, "Mom, did you hear they discovered a new swamp in Florida?" I said, "No, where is it?" He said, "In my pants." I said, "Oh, for crying out loud."
And especially if he does residential, you
He
got
does
you got to
both.
deal with all the bushes
Yeah.
and the hornet nest, and,
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. I mean,
I've been
I don't miss. I was good at it, but I don't miss it.
I've gotten that phone call before. "Mom, I just got bit by something." So it was probably a wasp. But that was so funny Friday. That was really funny. New swamp in Florida. But he does that. He does business windows. He's done high-rise buildings over there in Florida where he's looking down and it's like stories to the
Yeah, I mean
bottom.
to me that's easier work
Yeah.
than residential
Mm.
because you're not dealing with homeowners.
Right, right. Well,
But
and
the glass itself is usually bigger and heavier.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm not getting out on a scaffold. No.
Mm-mm, me either. I don't know how he does it, but he does, and like I said, he seems to really enjoy it.
If he's in a commercial like that probably pays pretty decent.
Right now, for somebody his age, I think he's doing okay. I think he makes about $22 an hour. But I mean, he's only 26.
Yeah, but that ain't nothing to sneeze at.
No, it's not. Except for the cost of living has gone up so high in the area that he lives in that there's people escaping. I
Yeah.
just read an article about that the other day. It caught my attention because it said Jacksonville, Florida on it, and I'm like, oh, what's going on in Jacksonville? Because that's my hometown, city, whatever. And I read it, and they said that the cost of living has gone up so much that people are leaving in droves to go to a cheaper place to live. And I'm like, oh, that's great. My son just bought a house there.
Yeah. Well,
And I told him, I said, if you will come over here, you can buy a house for $100,000. A house you need,
yeah.
not a house you want, but a house you need. But no, he didn't want to do that.
Well, Everybody has to do it their way, and sometimes that's the hard way.
Yeah. Well, I think the consequence of that would have been, though, that he probably wouldn't have made as much money. It would have been a few dollars an hour less. And that to him at the time just didn't feel right.
Well, it doesn't roll off the tongue well, but
No.
if you take a couple dollars less and it costs you a whole lot of dollars less to
To
live,
live,
that's a
yeah,
win.
I agree.
That is a raise.
But I think when you're 26, that's hard to see.
Well, yeah, because you're only looking at the number.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know how long I've had to work to get to this point? That's what he told me. I said, yes. Yes, I was there when you're born. I know how long it's been.
Well, I keep quoting Dave Ramsey tonight, but he tells a story about him and his wife getting married and
Yep.
going into debt and all that stuff like that. And he says the problem is, he says, when we're young, we want everything our folks had that took them a lifetime to achieve.
It's true. And I still don't have all the things my folks have.
He said, we had a better car, we had a bigger house.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I for sure had a better stereo. But, you got your parents, took them 50, 60 years to get where they're at.
Yes.
And, young kids, and I was there too.
Yeah.
In my 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And you want everything your parents have.
Yeah. So, what do you do with that? I guess they just got to live and learn.
They just have to teach. Economics is fine. Personal finance is what they should be.
That's the most important thing they should be teaching in school.
Teaching you how to make budgets, how to make things stretch, things like that.
Mm-hmm. How to balance your.
Unfortunately,
bank account.
like I said earlier, they can't learn that at home because most times parents don't know how to do that.
Right. And that's one of the reasons I'm so grateful that I learned what I did when I did about personal finance and how to not live paycheck to paycheck and all that. Because now I'm teaching these two that still live at home. Now, whether they go with it or not, that's up to them, but they've got the knowledge. They've got that, and I can rest easy at night knowing that I've taught them what I learned.
Well, y'all should sit down and watch Dave Ramsey videos
And we
together.
do sometimes. We do, especially my son.
Because he says it in a way that explains it in a way that it's attainable.
That's true. He does.
And I love his
things.
podcast when people call in and stuff. And he'll say, well, sell something.
Right? You don't need that car.
What do you got that you can sell?
Right? Get another job. And it's so simple.
Yeah.
You either have an income problem or a spending problem.
It's
Figure out which one it is and fix it.
it's manage your own personal habits.
Mm-hmm. But that's one of the things I tell these kids, my son in particular, the one that's still at home. He forgets things. He's 15. Of course he does.
Good night, Tom.
Good night, Tom. Take care.
We're not too far behind you.
I know, right? Or he'll I filled out a schedule change form for him because they enrolled him in Spanish and he wanted weightlifting. So I signed the paper for him to be able to change classes if they'll give it to him.
Yeah.
And I asked him the next day, I said, did you turn that piece of paper in? Oh, no, I forgot. I said, no, you didn't forget. That's a self-discipline problem.
Yep.
I said, if you don't work on that self-discipline, you're going to have a harder life when you leave this place, this house. I said, the keys to having a successful adulthood are self-discipline, integrity, and loyalty, in my opinion.
Yeah. And learning how to do without and be okay with it.
Yeah. Which is part of that self-discipline.
Yeah.
You know. So we're working on that. And we're going to be working on that for the next 3 years while he's still living in my house, or longer, because I don't know yet how to raise a kid to be self-sufficient by the time they're 18. I don't think it's possible in today's world. I just don't.
Well, I mean, I got married at 19, moved out,
Me too.
and I wasn't ready for the real world.
Me either.
But you know what? It slapped me upside the head, and I learned
Sure
real
did.
quick. I learned real fast. I'm proud to say I never went home and asked for any money.
Me either.
My pride and my stubbornness,
Mm-hmm.
my hard-headedness would not let me do it. I just flat out, I would have eaten dirt and lived under a bridge before I'd
Me
go
too.
back.
Me too.
And it's
But
not that they wouldn't help me.
Right.
There's no way I was going to let them know I made the wrong choice.
Right. They are not going to know that about me. Nope.
No.
I was the same way as you. The pride thing, they say pride goeth before a fall. That is the truth. It is true. But my youngest brother, who is 13 years younger than me, give or take a couple of weeks, he lived at home until he was 29 years old and got married. If it had not been for my parents, my brother would not have anything that he has today. They've paid his car payments. They've paid his house payments. They've paid.
Well, I wouldn't have left either.
No, I mean after he got married.
Oh, okay. Well,
They've bailed him out of so many stupid things.
they did that for themselves because they certainly weren't helping him.
Right. Well, now he just bought. Okay, my dad lives here. My middle brother lived next door. He didn't live there. He had a house there that he built when he was in his 20s. And it was like his wife didn't know anything about it. It was like his what if something happens house,
Yes.
basically. And so my brother sold that house to my younger brother, the youngest. And they just moved in this summer. And they're working on, expanding it a little bit and doing some work to it, etc. But it's right next door to Dad's house. And my brother, my baby brother, I don't think he'll ever get out from underneath them. I really, really don't.
Well, I've said it many times to other people. I said they may move out, but they haven't left home.
Right. And that's exactly what happened to him. And but I will say, if I could get a little place and put it out on Dad's property, I would do that. I will eventually do that if I get to live long enough.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be as dependent.
I would not be dependent at all.
There you go. So that's
They might
that's
see
different.
me once every 2 weeks.
Taking advantage of an opportunity is not like an entitlement thing. That's
Yeah.
that helps you and Wesley out. You feel good about it. Your dad probably feel good about it, knowing he's done something to
Yeah.
contribute.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the point in having something like that if you can't share it with people?
And that's true. I just called him a couple of weeks ago. I said, "Hey, Dad, me and Wesley are thinking about driving up next weekend." He says, you don't want to come next week. It's too damn hot up here." I said, "Did you forget where I live?" I said, "I can either roast in South Mississippi or I can roast in Georgia." He says, "No, you don't need to come in the summertime. If you're going to come up here, you need to come in the fall because it's nicer and you'll enjoy it more." I said, "All right, Dad, I'll come in the fall." But here I am trying to do my level best to make more than one trip up there every year.
Yeah.
Because, man ain't getting no younger, and neither am I.
I feel the same way about my mom.
Mm-hmm.
I need to go up there more often. You know, I get up there about every 5 years,
Oh, yeah.
and that's because I had high school reunions.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, she every time I talk to her, when you coming up? When you coming up? I told Vicky the other day. I said we probably need. I just hate the expense of going. To be honest with you,
I get it, because I do too. And
I'm
I
too
don't have
cheap.
as far to go as you do.
I'm too cheap to buy a plane ticket and rent a car.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to drive. Well, I can drive straight through in about 16, 17 hours if I drive straight through. But that's with the tongue hanging out of the car.
Right. Right.
But if by the time you do that, you've lost a whole day.
Exactly.
The next day trying to recoup from the trip.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking 2 days up, 2 days back. If I've
Right.
only got, 6 days,
Right.
is it really worth it? I mean, it is when you factor in that your mom, you need to go see your mom. But economically, it's a lot of gas, it's a lot of time. It's very hard for me to get time off of work.
Right. Right.
So I don't have the kind of job I can just take, 2-week vacation twice a year.
Can she visit you?
She's getting where she can hardly.
Yeah.
I mean, I would send her a plane ticket
Right.
to come down to stay, but she still wants to drive. She'll drive straight through on her own.
Oh my.
And she's let's see, I just turned 71, so she's 90 or 89,
Oh my goodness.
and she drives everywhere.
Bless
So
her
she
heart.
hasn't lost her ability to drive, but I don't like to get her. I don't like her to get out on the road. She's getting out of where she really doesn't like risking
Right.
personal safety.
Of
The
course.
world's just getting ugly,
Yeah, it is.
and she
don't
doesn't
need
want to
you
be out
riding-
by
driving
herself.
on the interstate by herself at 90 years old.
But I told her before. I said I'll send you a plane ticket, and we'll rent you a car so you'll have something to drive while you're down here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But she won't do it. That's don't waste your money on me. One of them type things.
When Violet was in Pensacola, she called me up. She goes, "What would you like for me to bring you home?" I said, "You don't need to bring me nothing home. Don't spend your money on me."
So that's a mom thing.
It has to be. I don't need anything.
I'll send mom a card and usually a prepaid Visa card is what I usually put in a card for.
Yeah.
And I do that on Mother's Day, her birthday, Christmas, and every time. You shouldn't have. As a
You
mom,
shouldn't have done that.
I know I shouldn't have, but I do every time. So stop.
Yeah.
We don't have to do this dance every time.
Exactly. Exactly.
I told her, I said, I said, do you realize how cheap I'm getting off? I said, if I was up there close to you, I'd be taking you out to dinner every Sunday. We'd probably going out at least once a month to someplace nice and at night. This is cheap for me. I'm getting off the hook
surprised she
pretty
didn't
cheap.
say, "Well, when are you moving back home?"
That ain't happening.
I know.
I've told before. I said I am home.
Right. Right. Well, I know it. And I hate to put Wesley through the grueling 9-hour drive. And I know for most people, 9 hours is nothing, but for him, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
And just because of his condition,
Yeah.
he pays for it bad the next day.
Do you ever think about renting a plush car where it'd be easier to ride for him?
I've thought about buying one.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
But yes.
one year I went up to Indianapolis. I rented a car.
Mm-hmm.
Had 2 perfectly good cars at home,
Mm-hmm.
but we were going to stay for an extra couple of days, and I know what the luggage situation was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I forget what I rented. I think it was a Buick or something like. Anyway, when I got there, they didn't have it,
Oh no!
so they gave me a Lincoln.
Oh well, darn the bad
We
luck.
rode, we rode that Lincoln all the way up. I hated to get there. It was such a nice ride,
I bet. I bet. That's what
but
my dad
I
has
didn't
two
hurt.
Lincolns.
I didn't hurt when I got there like I usually do.
Right.
Using
Right.
my back and my lower leg and the backs of my legs,
Mm-hmm.
it takes me a day or two to get over it.
I wonder how much it costs to rent a car nowadays.
But we just decided to do it. We thought it might be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yes, I thought about doing that.
Because I would have. I mean, the tires were good, but I probably would have got an oil change. And I would have done this, and I got that. Before you knew it, I was going to spend a bunch of money
Right.
to
Right.
get the car comfortable enough in my head that it would have made the trip fine. But
Yeah.
that's just what guys do.
Mm-hmm. That's what Wesley does every time we go anywhere.
So I just thought, well, maybe it'd be fun just to rent something. So we rented something comparable to what we had. I got lucky. They ran out and
Heck yeah.
bumped me up.
Dad has a Lincoln Town car, two of them in his driveway.
See, I don't like a big car.
Oh, I love a big car.
I don't like a big car.
You know my dream car? An old Buick Roadmaster station wagon. I love them. I love, love, love that vehicle.
Now I had a '59 Cadillac. I think I just turned 21. I'd run across the deal and bought this big rolling living room.
I was going to say, that car's as big as my kitchen.
So so I have had big cars. I've had Chrysler New Yorkers. I've had big cars, but when you work on them, because I was a mechanic for years.
Right.
When you work on them, I really didn't want to drive anything I couldn't push by myself.
That's a good point.
That's the way I always looked at it.
Yeah. But he only drives one of the Lincolns. One of them he just bought it a little while ago. Dad likes to buy older cars and then freshen them up and resell
Okay.
them.
Okay.
And sometimes he does a lot of work to them, and sometimes he just gives them a bath and.
Okay. So it's a hobby.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He just loves cars, period. And he was just telling me about a Lincoln that he saw on the marketplace or something. It was up in Atlanta. And he called the guy, told him, hey, I'm 3 hours away from you. I'm leaving in the morning. I'll have the money in my pocket. And don't sell that car till I walk away without it, basically.
Yeah.
And so he got up the next morning and changed his stinking mind. He said, Charlotte, I'm kicking myself all the way to Atlanta and back, because if this car is what I think it was, basically is in as good a shape and all that, he said, I could have turned around and easy sold it for $7,000.
Yeah.
And I said, well, you made a choice. He said, I know it. I said, at least it's not as bad as that choice not to buy Ford stock when it was $1. He said, thanks for reminding. Remember after the 2008 thing, the whole crash and all?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ford stock went down to $1. And he called me and he said, you ain't going to believe this, but Ford stock's $1.
Should have jumped on it, huh?
I said, well, how much money you got? He told me how much he had to play with. And I said, well, you ought to buy it all. He said, I don't know. That's a lot of money. It was about $10,000, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said, Dad, that stock usually runs about $12 a share. Buy that stock. Nah, I don't know if I want to spend that money. I said, okay, do you? And here we are today. And I remind him of this every time we talk. Let me tell you what Ford stock is right now. You know, I used to be able to. Oh, it's only 10:03 right now. A couple of
Only
months ago,
10:03.
yeah, only 10:03. A couple of months ago, it was up to 14 and some change. But today it's 10. Oh, see, let's see, let's see.
And Quentin's back.
Well, howdy,
That
former
was a
police officer talking.
that was a short nap.
Yeah. But anyhow, I rubbed that in his nose a lot because I thought that was the dumbest thing he ever could have done. If you had it, if I would have had $4, I'd have bought Ford stock
I
for a
have kicked
dollar.
my ass several times for not buying into some stuff that I just knew was going to take off, and I just didn't have the spine to do it.
I promise you this: if this market going down last week is the beginning of the end, I'm saving money for Ford stock. I am not even playing.
I mean, I remember when Yahoo when they first went public,
Hmm.
and Google. I mean,
Oh, I remember too.
that would have been the time to
Oh,
buy in, man. It has gone nuts.
you know what my dad used to, I had, when my mother passed, I had some money when I turned 18. And plus I had that car accident. So I had a little more money than most folks at that time in my life, but I was dumb. But every now and then he would call me and say, hey, there's a good deal on XYZ stock. You want me to buy you some? And he'd take $1,000 or $1,500 of my money and buy it. But every year he would buy Mattel stock. Hey, Papa Texas.
Papa Texas, I'll be darned. What you doing up so late? So he'd buy Mattel stock?
Yeah, Mattel, because Mattel always, let me get this right. It would be low in March and it would bump up $2 or $3 by November. It was like clockwork. I don't know if it still happens, but it was like clockwork back then. This was in the early 80s. So he would buy me some of that every year and I'd make a little bit of money off of it. I don't know how much money he made me. He was the one in charge of all that. I didn't. He bought me AOL stock and I got a lot of money off of that one time. A lot. Because it split like 45 times.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was then and this is now, and I don't have none of that anymore.
I've got a little bit here and a little bit there, but they're all down.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. I'll be right back, Grumpus. I got to visit the facilities again.
Alrighty.
It's a thing.
We'll probably wrap this up for too long. Well, Papa Texas, what you doing up so late?
I don't know if you heard me or not, but I said that sounds good to me.
Yeah. Right after me and Vicky started dating, she worked at a place that downhole drilling chemicals and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to impress her, so I bought some stock into her company. And I think at the time it was like $18 or something like that.
Right.
Well, I think it's down less than $1 now.
Oh,
She keeps saying, you need to sell it. You need to sell it. And I said, I haven't lost anything until I sell it.
that's right.
And
That's
my
right.
original intention was, I figure, okay, this is a smaller company. One of these days, it wouldn't take but, Baker Hughes to buy that company up, or, Stewart and Stevenson, something
Dow.
like that. Buy up this little company, and
Yeah.
you can make a lot of money. But
Just never happened, huh?
that hadn't happened yet.
Well, hopefully it will.
But I kissed that money goodbye a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like you said, you haven't lost anything till you sell it.
That's right.
I would hang on to it for dear life.
It's not hurting anything, just sitting
Nope.
there.
Um, yeah, if things go down, I'm going to be on the ready.
We when I worked at Pennzoil, me and another buddy of mine, we got into the penny stocks,
No, that's scary.
and it was just something we was doing for fun.
Right.
And I was telling my boss I'd bought, oh God, I don't know, 10,000 shares of something. He said, "You did what?" And I said, "Well, it was only like point 9 cents
Oh, that's
a
funny. Oh,
stock." He said, "Why did you do?" I said, "It's only got to hit a nickel."
that's right. That's right. Oh, my.
Of course, all that shit dried up too.
Yes, it did. Well, most of it, yeah. I know that was big back in the day, and I think people still do it.
I
I'll
know
tell
some
you.
people that's their full time job. They get
Yeah.
up in the morning, they day trade, and
Hmm.
some of them dabble into penny stocks, something like that. But that's
It's
just a
too
high
risky.
pressure,
Yeah.
situation you put yourself into. But if that's what you're into, then
Right. Well, and you really got to know how to read those charts
oh yeah, and
to
and,
be able to do that.
and
And
you got to be ready to pull the trigger quick.
right
Yeah,
then. Yeah. And I'm
like I
just
said, I'm
not,
not I'm not a gambler.
I'm not that decisive either. Usually, I have to weigh things out very carefully before I make a move.
And
And
by the time I think it all through, it's past.
that's right. That's right. That's the way I am. I know that. Well, Grumpus, I am getting tired, and I know you are exhausted.
Yeah, it's about time to wrap it up. What, 3 minutes and 21 or 3 hours 21 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I'm sorry I was so late.
No, don't be sorry. You just,
What's he just transferred?
Quentin, I like the way you think, mister.
There you go.
That's what I do every payday.
I have a couple secret accounts,
Me too.
secret household accounts.
Shh.
But
Wesley,
yeah, it
he tells me all the time, "What? You pull money out of your behind?" I'm like, well, I just keep it in little places, you know.
yeah. She'll say, "Well, where'd that come from?" I said, "Look, every time you said you want, you got. Don't
Don't
question
worry
it.
about where it come from.
Don't question it." Well, everybody, appreciate in the chat. I appreciate you showing up. Charlotte, as always, it's been fun.
Always.
We'll see you next week.
Alrighty.
I got you, Quentin.
I could use a navy blue one.
You
Just
can use a blue one.
yeah. I would like to have a really dark blue one. Maybe a pink gold one. All right.
All right. Anyway, we're gonna wrap this up. We're a little over 3 hours. I think that's long enough.
Yeah. Good night, Grumpus. Good night, chat. Thank you all for coming. Bye-bye.
See you all in the chat. See you, Charlotte.
Bye, Grumpus.
Y'all take care, and appreciate y'all showing up this late at night. Yep, Papa's got a pen. He's part of the pen club. So anyway, folks, I'm wrapping it up. Charlotte will have it next week. I'll probably be on here with her, and it'd be great if y'all want to come back and just share this nonsense. So, Grumpus is out. We'll see you.